What's up, guys? This is PJ, and I am back once again with Essential Guy Talk. James, we had a killer show last week. It was so much fun. We had Prime 13, which is a wood-fired steakhouse, who came on last week, and we had some delicious food. We talked about some fun things. We've got some really fun announcements that we're gonna make. So stay tuned to socials tomorrow because we're gonna do a really fun event with Prime 13. So James, good to see you again, buddy.
Good to see you too.
All right, we're back.
Happy Thursday.
Yes, happy Thursday.
Happy weekend.
So, sitting to my left, let's introduce him right now. He has been putting on the Atlantic City Beer Festival for as long as I have known him, which is a long time now. But he's also got some other killer events. He owns a fantastic company called Good Time Tricycle Productions. We have Jon Henderson on the show. John, what's going on, buddy?
Gentlemen, you're in like a weird hipster sandwich, right? With the glasses and the fucking mustaches.
I'm the only one without it curled up.
You're literally like the guy on a porn set with the smallest penis between the two of us. It's really a thing.
There we go. I am sandwiched.
We are the EGT over here. We are the essential.
What a way to start.
It was
I love
the first
that.
thing I said to John when he walked in, too. I was like, bro, you coming in here stealing my stash thunder or what, bro?
Exactly.
Bro, we're mustache Americans.
Dude, that's
it's a
amazing.
lifestyle choice.
That's amazing. What I find interesting about your stash is that you go short in the middle and long on the end.
Yep.
Where I've taken all of this time to like grow out the length in the middle, which, by the way, eating like subs or something like that,
Not fun,
it's
right?
brutal, bro, because I get it in between my teeth, my hair.
I can't do that though. See, that's the thing. That's why I go long here, because I can't get as full. Like you get this beautiful full thing going on.
Yeah.
I got bald spots all over the place. You know what I'm
So you
saying?
gotta
It's like,
get in where you fit in,
shift.
right?
It's like, pay attention to the tip. Pay attention.
Yeah.
Tell my
There you
wife
go.
the same thing. I tell her the same thing.
Two
That's
great
all that
references
counts.
within the first 5 minutes.
That's right.
All right, so John puts on some amazing events down in Atlantic City and the surrounding areas every single year. I've had the pleasure of partying with this guy many, many times. First and foremost, obviously, is the Atlantic City Beer and Music Festival, which is coming up next month. So how many years now has it been?
So we yanked COVID out of the mix, right? A little PTSD there, right, from the event world. It would be 19 years, but 18 years is a functioning festival.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, if you talk about prep, it's been a 20-year journey, man.
It's awesome. Wow. That's absolutely awesome. And they've just been fantastic. They're memorable every single year. I've been going to them for at least 15 plus.
We've been for a minute. We've been at it for a minute.
Yep. So it's an amazing time. If you guys have never been down to an Atlantic City beer, and then they've got the little arrow that points up, and music, because there's a lot of focus on music as well.
You need a soundtrack. You need a soundtrack to drink to. You need a soundtrack to hang out with your friends with.
Yep. So some of the amazing breweries are listed all over the place. They're all over New Jersey, Pennsylvania, New York. There's breweries everywhere that come and kind of participate in the night. But Friday night and then 2 Saturday, right? That's
Correct.
the way you do the sessions.
Yep, the springtime one, yeah.
Do you have to turn away breweries, or is this kind of bring them all?
No. There's a certain curation that comes to it, and then there's timelines, right? I mean, we get to the point where like we're at it now. We've got 100+ breweries now. We're just saying, all right, let's curate your beer lists. What do you want to send? What's trending? Yeah. What are people drinking? Because we want to bring the right breweries in, but we also want to make sure we're in line with the season and we're in line with kind of what the drinking culture's at right now. And this is one of those festivals. I'm very, I'm not anti-seltzer, but then anti-RTD. I'm very pro THC drink.
Yep.
But we've had a commitment to craft beer.
Sure.
So for this April event, it's very craft beer forward.
Okay, awesome. All right, but now you have something that you're doing for the first time in a long time, which is you're going to do a summer session of the Beer Fest too. So tell us a little bit about that. That's July 13th?
That's July 13th. Well, it's funny because post-COVID, we were the first big event in New Jersey, barring like one other sporting event, to actually happen. 20,000 people converge on Bader Field, like literally right after the governor said, maybe we can do this. I had helicopters flying over just watching, and I was like, oh, somebody's fucking telling on me. Oh, they're watching me? Like, I felt nervous. And, the outside event grew, and then I was listening to a lot of the consumers, and folks were like, well, we liked it inside. No, we like it outside. We like it. And previously I had people going, well, why don't you do 2 of these? Why don't you do 2 of these? Because I just want to do 1 of these because I want to do so many other cool things. Right? Like, we love beer, but there's so many other cool things to explore, lifestyle things, culture things, and I kept pushing back, and finally 17 years later, I was like, all right, fuck it. Break it in 2. We'll do the Atlantic City Beer Music Festival OG sessions. We'll go back inside, 3 sessions, 3 big headliners, great support, 100+ breweries, food, fun, friends, blah, blah, blah. Whole sales pitch, right? And then we'll toss it outside. We'll keep that one outside. We'll stack it. We'll do 1 session in the day, 1 session at night, and we'll just party. And then that summer one, we're gonna introduce some people, some other beverage alternatives.
Oh, cool. Okay, so it'll be a little different.
Yeah. And it's gonna have a more summer vibe, right? It's gonna be refreshing. It's gonna be lighter.
Awesome. Yeah, I mean, that sounds great. So I'm going to try and get to both of them.
You don't
and
have a
see what the
choice. You're
difference
getting to both of them.
That's it. That's it. Absolutely. So, Podcast Row, are we doing it again?
Now we are.
Yes.
Okay.
Are we?
See? Yeah.
That's
100%.
why we're here.
That's
We're here to create podcasts.
We may have premeditated
Dude,
this
I
meeting
will
a
be.
little bit.
It's not the first time I've been peer pressured into something. I mean, come on. This is my first rodeo.
Drink up and
This
tell us
would
all
be
about it.
Yep.
My first AC Beer Fest ever.
Really?
Yeah, man.
So why 18 years later have you come around?
So I'm gonna be frank with you, man. I am not a big alcohol drinker.
As you have a beer and a bourbon in front of you. Okay.
I got a beer.
I'm a
and
good
bourbon.
influence.
Yeah,
on it.
right.
That's really the way it's going.
I tend to gravitate a little bit more towards the weed side of things. Everything settles differently with people.
Yep.
But the culture that you talked about is what really entices me about this whole thing. It's not just a bunch of dudes going down there that are super snotty about beers, and I like the idea that there's this whole festival portion of it, the whole band portion, the whole experience of it itself. That sounds super rad to me.
I told them people come in costumes. People are wearing the necklaces that are the pretzel necklaces, and it's a whole vibe down there. It's definitely just such a good time. You got to experience.
We push against what was the original pretentiousness of beer.
Yeah.
Right. Like there's out in Colorado, there's the Great American Beer Fest. Right. Yep. Well, we're like that younger brother that stole your dad's weed, stole his bourbon out of the fridge, fucking stole the car. Like we're that festival, because our mindset from the beginning was it's always is an opportunity for discovery. Everything we do is going to be some sort of opportunity for discovery, but beer should be fun. Right? These things that are your fun vices, they should be fun. They should take you out of your outside element, the things that cause you stress, the things and take you away from that.
Yeah, it should be a celebration. It shouldn't be something that's stuffy and feels awkward, right?
Correct.
That's the vibe that I get when I go down there. I mean, look, you had my favorite band ever last year when 311 played, so that spoke to me, obviously.
I'm on the same page as that.
Yeah, but in general, I mean, the overall music vibe that you do down there is often punk or rock influenced, and it speaks to the community of people that you bring down, which are people that are just looking to straight up have a good time.
And that's it. And it's like, the beer will match the music, and I love the ska vibe. I love that. I mean, we've been chasing Cypress Hill like nobody's business, right? Man, just chasing, like, just please, 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 please. And for some reason, one reason or another, like we thought we had them on the hook for this year. I thought I had them for the July event, and then Hard Rock's like, nah, we have more money than you do, so we just snatched them right up.
Oh, is that what happened?
That's exactly what happened. And they owned it. They called me. They're like, listen, we know you put this offer in. And we do business with the Hard Rock. What am I going to be like, you bastards?
Yeah,
I'm like,
at the end of the day, they're going to be down here. Great job, guys.
On 420.
Thanks.
On 420.
Right.
Yeah, I'm not going to remember 420 at all. I'm going to refer to my cell phone every so often. Yeah.
That's great. So you get your event done the week before, then you get to go to the 420 event and just enjoy yourself. Because, I mean, there's another level of stress when you're running an event that you don't get to just be a participant as much as you're just making sure that everything's going off without a hitch, that everybody has what they need. I see you like a chicken with your head cut off running around like a crazy man.
It's a social, like I mean, and you know this because, we talk, right?
Yeah.
These guys are all my friends. You know, I'm not going to bring somebody in I don't get along with, for one. How can I kind of lift you up if, we're not lifting each other up, right? So I run around and the challenge is always, and this is going to be the challenge when we kind of delve into the kind of weed festival world, right? The challenge is everybody's like, hey, try my beer, try my beer, try my beer. And I'm like,
everybody trying.
Yeah, I'm like, guys, I got shit to run. Like, when the police show up, I got to be sober, right? It's like, this party's, you can't get off the hinges. And it's like we do this Halloween event. And my family loves it. It's a beer festival. It's a spirits festival. It's got a little weed. It's got a little this. And my kids are always like, you got to dress up. You got to dress up. I'm like, So something goes wrong. Something goes south.
Yeah, go talk to Frankenstein over there. The murderous clown.
The guy dressed like the giant dick. Go talk to that guy. Yeah,
you could get away with like a steampunk or something like that, and it doesn't feel that out of place. But yeah, you can't go crazy.
No, you can't.
If you're in full regalia, knight's outfit or something, and the cops
I feel like
come.
You already got the character though. You know what I'm saying?
Very Pinky Blinders.
Exactly. Yeah, wear
the
top hat and the coat. You could pull it off, no problem.
So how did you get into this?
So my expertise is business development, right? Okay. I was the director of business development for Caesars Entertainment, the entire Eastern Division. I was in player development for the casino, so I can see pieces, right? Yeah. Everybody's kind of got their kind of niche. I can see pieces, and I understand how kind of cogs, money, people kind of work.
Yeah.
And I wanted to do something that wasn't working in a casino, right? I wanted to, like the American dream. I want to work for myself. Fuck the man.
100%.
20 years later, I'm like, yo, can the man write me a check?
Yeah.
I'm like, how do I just get a paycheck, right?
Yep.
But yeah, I saw, I thought, I was working a 9 to 5, kind of 9 to 5 for the casino world. I'd already had the Atlantic City Tattoo Expo just kind of as a passion project that I had done. And at the time, it was one of the first tattoo shows in the country, and for a minute, it was one of the largest. And then, Philly pops up, and it's fucking Philly. It's gonna get fire, right? Yeah, I ain't mad about it.
Yep.
And then started to develop the Beer Fest while doing 40, 50 hours for Caesars Entertainment, and then another, 40 hours at home on my laptop. And just kind of creating this, what was originally the Atlantic City Beer Fest before we added music.
Right.
I wanted to celebrate the things that I liked, right? And I thought, if I want to celebrate these things, I can't be the only one. No, I'm not the only guy on the planet with a mustache, right? See, boom, here we are, right?
Yep, there you go.
If I want to celebrate these things, everybody wants to celebrate these things. And that's kind of a lot of where these programs we curated came from, or dares, right? For example, our knee-high knuckle buster micro wrestling.
I wanted to talk about that. It's so much fun.
Dude, we're going to talk about everything, man.
Yes.
And none of it's going to be in order. So we're just gonna people are going to be like, how do I find this on the schedule? He talked about this, and this is in June, and this is in December, and now. Forget order. Let's throw that out
Let's
the window,
go. Order,
right?
Order be damned.
Right? So I had some friends who are in the radio world, and this thing's going to beep, so I'm just going to throw it on. Who were on the radio world, and they were like, we went to this, at the time you were allowed to call it midget wrestling event. Okay. Right? And I was like, yeah, they're like, something like that would be awesome in Atlantic City. I was like, oh yeah, that's very doable. Like, yeah, right. 3 days later, I was like, all right, here are the dates. I've got it set. We're doing knee-high knuckle buster micro wrestling. We've been doing it for 7 years. It is a sellout 2,000 person event in this dive bar parking lot that my buddy owns. Ducktown, right? Yeah, my buddy Johnny. And I said to him, I was like, yo, can I put a bunch of little people in chaos in your parking lot?
He was like,
I'd be pissed if you didn't. And we hang out and smoke cigars and just watch little people fuck each other up.
I went to the first one. I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know if it was going to be a small little production. It is a small little production, but it is 1,500 people. Thank you. It's 1,500 people.
I make the joke that it's the smallest event we do.
I know. I see that. Yes. Yeah. The biggest, what do you say, the biggest little party in the world?
It's the biggest little event in Atlantic City history.
Have you ever seen Mini Kiss?
We actually hired them until I found out they just lip sync the whole time.
They do. So I've worked with them on an offsite one time, and they do. They show up on an iPod, they lip sync the whole thing. But did they play one song? Because they do one song live.
I didn't
see them do one song. Because I was pissed because they were lips. I walked up and I was like, Mini Kiss, and I looked over, and the one was just jumping up and down. I was like, there's not even strings on the bass. Yeah. I was like, it must have been too heavy with the strings. I don't know.
They're terrible, by the way.
Yes.
Like live, they're terrible. They're definitely not musicians, but I get the act part of it. But I was curious if there was some sort of cohesion with that.
There were a couple things that we tried to pull off, and then we always want to add to that entertainment factor. Yeah. So we'll do like a hot dog eating contest and just dumb shit to get people hyped up. But then the wrestlers start. We don't have to do anything else because these guys are.
They put on a great show.
Well, so the group themselves have a show on Discovery now called Big Little Brawlers.
Oh, there you go.
Right, and they're just so talented, and it's like I get up off the couch, run around, and my back hurts. These little fuckers are jumping off the top ring, throwing each other across the crowd, and I'm like, these are athletes.
Yeah,
I had a woman just attack me on social media, like, you're taking advantage of these people. What would you do if that was your child? I was like, I'd be dad in the front row with the foam finger,
proud,
just trash that dude. Yeah,
Yep.
These dudes are working, man.
They're working. They're having fun. They're your highlight. They're not your low light.
Right.
They're not in between bands and you're putting on these knuckleheads.
Yep.
The whole show is built around them. It absolutely is so much fun. I brought AJ, my old co-host, who's a wrestler in his own right, and he was like, "This is the coolest thing I've ever seen. This is so much fun. It's just all love. Everybody in the crowd is loving it. They're hooting and hollering. It's such a good time. We're going to that one.
I don't see that as exploiting anybody at all. You know,
of course not.
We live in this temperament, and I always try. We keep like politics out of the show, but we live in this time frame now where everybody is just so soft. You know what I'm saying?
They're just looking to be angry instead of celebrating
find error in something. Something's not politically correct or whatever. Yeah. Meanwhile, these dudes, if they weren't doing this, what would they be doing?
Yeah.
You know,
their niche.
like, you know, it's like it's the same thing with like in the movies, right? Where they get like all upset because, you know, the little people are in Willy Wonka.
Would you prefer to have a big person acting like a little person or give that little person some work?
Well, they did it with the new Willy Wonka. Hugh Grant's a little person.
Yep.
Yeah.
And he did a fantastic job, but it took a role.
Dude's 6 foot tall.
Took a role.
And it's funny. I had an employee who, when we were their second or third year into it, and she's a super nice girl. She came in and we were doing the marketing from it. And it was when so Facebook was like, you can't call midgets anymore. So me and the owner of the organization had a conversation. He's like, I got to go micro. I was like, what do you mean you got to go micro? He's like, every time I try to do an ad, Mark Zuckerberg says, no, you can't talk like that on my platform.
Really?
You know, and we're talking through it, and she sits down and she's like, well, generally, I feel a certain way about how we promote this. And I said, Claire, let's do math.
Claire Repsky, right?
Yeah,
she was awesome, right?
Yeah,
she was
probably
awesome.
listening. She's 100% listening.
Hi, Claire.
And we did math. And, you know, you saw what these people made, and she's like, I'm underpaid.
100%.
Yeah.
You used to call it knee-high knuckle
We still call
buster.
it knee-high knuckle buster micro wrestling.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Yeah. So much fun, guys. So if you get an opportunity to go, your kids are going to absolutely love it. I can guarantee it. There's so many kids that go there, and they are just having the time of their life.
I'm walking around, and I see people and their kids, and I'm like, you're a terrible parent. High five.
Yes.
High five.
High five for that one.
You are on course with just, you know what? It's like, I think everybody at this point screws up their kid, but we're screwing them up along the kind of timeline the planets work.
There you go,
so
right?
Like you're on par.
Let's do it.
Yep.
All right. So some of the other amazing events, you mentioned Witchcraft a little bit. That's October 11th and 12th, right?
Yeah.
That one is a really cool kind of Halloween-y / craft beer vibe.
It's different than anything that exists out there right now, and somebody will emulate it. You know, and I'm not mad about it. You know, when things are cool, and maybe
good ideas and
it.
people emulating. It means you started the trend and
ultimate
be happy about
compliment.
it, right?
Yeah, but when I'm home, I'm smashing shit. right. How do I have somebody murdered and not go to jail?
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Have something to myself.
Yep. How did they drop pianos on people back in the day? Yes.
Yeah.
So we created this event. We're big Halloween dorks. Just my whole family, my staff, all Halloween dorks, right? And it's like we created all these relationships with breweries and distilleries and just kind of all these cool human beings that kind of lean towards the macabre.
Yeah.
And the staff and I got together, and it may or may not have been kind of marijuana driven. Just
of course.
We got a little high, got a little fun, and we came up with this kind of Halloween beer and spirits festival. And a friend of mine took me out to this campgrounds in the middle of the Pine Barrens, 1.5 miles down a 1-lane dirt road. And it's an abandoned campgrounds. And he's like, yeah, this guy will let you use it for whatever you want.
As soon as you were going down that thing, you were like, this is it.
My fucking pants got tight. I was like, this is the place. Yes. I mean, there's got to be bodies here. It's perfect.
100%.
And we stood there, and I stood on this rickety old stage that this cat had built, and I looked around and I saw it. Like not being, I saw it. I looked around and was like, that's the spot. I'm going to stomp on this phone real quick.
Yeah, do it. It's just going off, huh?
Yeah, no, that's my dude Goldfarb. I mean, I'm pretty sure we just locked in the bands for.
So he's super.
Oh, for the.
So he's pumped, and he's like, he's ignoring me. Yeah.
Answer him live, and then we'll have the first announcement.
I can't do that.
No, of course not.
Yeah, no, I haven't written that check yet. I can't do that.
So get back to this location.
So I'm looking around, and I saw it. I saw the lights. I saw the people in costumes. I saw kind of just the shenanigans, and and I said, over here we can put a maze, and over here I can have Jason jump out of the water, and over here, these guys can do this. Da da da.
No sound problems. No ordinance issues.
No ordinance issues. Yes, all day long. But made friends with the township. And I was like, hey man, you're a cool little town that people need to see. Right, and we're gonna park people in the center of the town, so when they get out of Witchcraft, they hit your restaurants and your 3-3s and Vinyl and all these cool kind of spaces, and let's help.
Oh, it's
with
out
commerce.
by 3-3s.
Oh yeah, it's right. It's
awesome.
From where the center of Hamilton is, it's 4.5 miles, right?
Perfect.
And we set buses up. We're like, we got a parking lot, park here, because you're gonna get lost out.
Right,
there. You're gonna get lost, and this road has no lights, 1.5 miles and just dark.
Awesome.
And
that probably feels really cool when you're on your way.
Well, we put people
there.
in the woods, so when you're in the bus, somebody peeks behind trees, and like you really play to the space.
Isn't that the coolest thing ever?
So
we got to have cameras and go down there for that.
All about
it's
this.
so silly. It's so silly.
I mean, that's what life is all about.
So of the 5 years we've done it, it's poured rain 3 of them. And nobody gives a shit.
No.
Nobody cares. Like it's like some of our other events, it rains and you see people running like it's Godzilla coming in Tokyo. They're just like,
It rained during the AC Beer Fest, 2 years ago.
Right before it started.
Right before it started.
And not just
sideways rain. Sideways rain. And I was a little concerned because, that we're setting up electronic equipment and, we're underneath cover and everything. And it just stopped. Like right as people were coming in, right?
I want to say it was Zeus or whoever's in charge of all of that. This is like we're gonna give John a little check.
Yeah,
let's see what his blood pressure is like.
Tighten the jeans up a little bit for this one.
I watched that cloud roll, and you remember it. It was like this rolling, just monstrosity, and everybody's like, "It's gonna pass by." I mean, it's gonna pass by, and everybody who said that, I just want to gut punch. That is not passing by.
No, that's definitely hitting us in some capacity. It was like sideways rain for a half hour. People were holding their tents down. It was crazy.
It got hectic. Yeah, it got hectic.
I mean, it's Atlantic City. You're right on the water there. You have water coming from all angles, basically, at Bader Field. The wind kind of blowing all over the place.
Jeopardy question. The windiest city in America is not Chicago.
What is it?
Brigantine, New Jersey, which is right off the peninsula of
Bader
Bader Field. Yeah.
I mean,
that makes sense. You have the what is that? It's not a lake. What do you call the inlet side, right? And then you have the ocean side of it, right?
And it funnels.
That's what I mean. You're surrounded by multiple bodies of water. There aren't many trees or anything to kind of knock it down. All you have is the casinos along the water, which is past where we were anyway. So the wind, it just funnels in. It's like being at a Giant Stadium during a real windy game.
It was wild. But, that's our space, and, we embrace it. We did a seafood fest there, and knowing this, I said, all right, you know what? Let's buy a bunch of kites and just give kids kites. And I'm like, oh, this will be great, until I saw some tiny kid get drugged across the field. I'm like, oh, shit, that's somebody's human. And he just, I'm like, let go.
What are you going to do? At some point, you got to let parents be parents, right?
Yeah.
You got to let them watch their kids too. But I mean, giving them kites is making chicken salad out of chicken chip.
Man,
it's
like seeing the pieces, man. That's genius.
Smart.
It's how we operate. It's really like we work within the confines that we have, and sometimes you'll see little things, and you're like, yeah. Let's play to this. Let's play to this.
I mean, that's genius. It costs like a fraction of any kind of dollar.
It's all about just giving kids something to do, giving the parents a chance to just take a breath and let the kids do what they're doing.
That's the only event we do where kids are really allowed, right? So it was like, we've got a bar, we've got 50-some restaurants. It's like, how do I keep the parents here longer?
Right.
Oh, kids will keep them here longer. So what do we do for kids? What do we get these booger eaters? What do we do for those, right? 1 year we did... we
Truck
took
in some sand.
Dude, we do it. 1 year I created this giant wall. And my buddy who owns a tent company, I was like, I need your worst tent. Like, I need a piece of crap tent. And we created this wall inside the tent. It was a 40-foot tent. And we did a 40 by 40 kind of wall, and we covered it in paper, right? And then we took super soakers and these pump things, and we took buckets, and we put paint. And just let the kids just... and blast in the walls. And I knew what parents were in there, because they walked around, half of them had blue paint up the side of their face, and I wave, and they're just like, hey, fuck you, buddy.
They're like, did you run in the color run? No, my kids sprayed me.
It was hilarious. And I had
smart,
vendors mad at me, because they're like, you put me by the kids section. I was like, why? The kids are having fun. Oh, my shit's covered in paint. I was like, all right,
these are the breaks.
My bad.
The first time vendors go over there, then they upgrade to the comfier spots. So if you guys are just joining us, we're here with Jon Henderson. He owns Good Time Tricycle Productions, which, where'd you come up with that name?
It's funny. I get this question a lot because I get people who walk in my office and like, hey, can I get my bike fixed here?
Yeah,
like,
of course.
There's a pinball in the lobby. There's a giant scary clown. There's a line. Do you see a single fucking bicycle?
They're like, you send them out, or what do you do?
Right. So I struggled with this. I didn't want to name it after myself. I mean, I'm arrogant as all get up, but not enough to fuck up my dad's name. Right? What if I did something and, I end up in jail? I end up like my, Henderson, prison, Henderson, that's
Henderson Productions is all over the news.
Yeah, my dad's mad. He's dead and he's mad.
Yeah,
right? Like, how do I, what did I do? And I struggled with it. Yeah. My wife and I were at this place called Cobweb Corner. She's buying somebody else's old shit for our house, like, one of these antique stores. And I'm like, all right, fine. She's like, I'm looking for more junk. I'm like, all right, yeah, this is junk's place.
This is where you're gonna get it.
Yay. and my daughter at the time was messing around. She's a little human being, messing around with this old tricycle, like just beat up. Like, you're gonna get tetanus and it's gonna be awesome. And my wife's like, get off that. You're either gonna get hurt or you're gonna break it. I was like, leave it alone. Somebody probably had a good time on that tricycle. And it clicked in my head. Bing. I don't remember a time kids on a tricycle just ding, 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 just smiling and triking. And I was like, well, I'd like to think that we do that in our festivals and our events. We do that for people. We give them a good time. We let them forget, like I said earlier, we let them forget about their everyday lives. We kind of take them out of this element and we put them on a tricycle, right? I'm going to say that. And some dick's going to be like, oh, my Uncle Chip backed over me. It's why I got this limp. It's like, it's going to backfire me one day. But yeah, that's where it comes from.
So that's a great story, by the way. So I have a proposition for you. Before one of the events, why don't you have a trike race? Like those adult big boy trikes.
We've done it.
All right, we've done it. 17 years of doing it. There you go.
We've done it.
All right, cool.
It's like, it looked as fucked up as am I allowed to cuss a lot?
Yeah,
I cuss
go ahead.
A lot.
Go ahead.
I'm dumb, so I substitute big words for the F word.
Yeah, that's New Jersey. Welcome to New Jersey, right?
Yeah, no, we did it, and it was like, I remember, being a kid, and we had a special need guy up the road, and he's driving, and he saw it, and he's got his 3-wheel, and I was thinking, oh, it's not a big deal. And then I put a bunch of adults on him, and they all look like the same person. And I was like, all right, don't do that again. Just don't do that again.
I mean, it's good for a good time once at least, right?
Yeah, then I just feel like, oh yeah, I'm gonna get mocked. I'm getting canceled for this.
I would love to do like the big wheel obstacle course challenge, but the big wheel with the e-brake.
With the e-brakes, so you can do the drift around the corners and stuff. But there's some funny videos that are out now of like it's like adult trikes, huge ones, and the buddies are all getting together and triking with their friends instead. Like what it. The meme where it shows like the wife is curled up and she's like, I wonder what he's thinking right now.
He's got motorcycles.
He's thinking about the trikes with his like 7 homies around the neighborhood.
I thought you were gonna tell me like in one of the memes where it's like, he's cheating on me, but
exactly.
Meanwhile,
he's probably cheating.
Put an engine on a tricycle.
Yeah. I'm a fan of putting an engine on anything. I'm a motorcycle guy.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah. I know. After AC Beer Fest, you always go on your ride, right?
I disappear somewhere. Last 2 years ago it was Africa. Last year it was. I'm a long distance motorcycle rider.
Wow.
I'm an adventure motorcycle rider. So, I decided to take a month off and do the Yukon territories, go through Alaska, come all the way back.
So cool.
So I'll do roughly about 20,000 miles.
So you get on like one of those like what do they call those like almost like Enduros like
I've
BMW or
I have
something
a BMW
like that. Yeah.
So I did South Africa on a GS 850.
How was that?
It was.
Mind blowing.
This would be the whole. We could do the whole show.
No, tell me. I want to hear about that because that's something. Look, it's something I will never do.
District 9. You're familiar?
Yeah. Yep.
So.
Yep.
That's South Africa. It's like we went through kind of the little barrios and the villages, and I'm like taking my pictures, and our guide's like, "Don't put that thing away. Put that thing away." Like, it was probably one of the coolest experiences I've ever had, and I've been fortunate with experiences.
Yeah.
This kind of lifestyle lends itself to adventure, right?
You work hard, but you get to kind of have some fun too, right?
Just randomly sleeping in tents in a desert, and elephants just roll by. I'm like, "What's up, bro?" And just kind of like it's, every day was just something. And I just was grateful. Like, missed my family, but every day it was just something like, and adventure riding, like going through a river while a baboon stares at you and you're just waiting for him to jump and just fuck your face. Crazy. Like, you're like, this thing's going to get me. Like, and I'm not scared of much, but I learned I have a baboon phobia.
Come on. Baboons can rip your face off.
Yeah,
Come
like
on.
Anybody else running around bare ass, no fear.
No.
Baboon, bare ass, terrified.
Yeah.
Terrified.
Red-ass baboons.
Yeah. So yeah, no, I mean, listen, if you ever get the chance, be it on motorcycle, be it on Jeep, be it on horseback, be it on baboon back, however you opt to do South Africa, do South Africa.
If you're the guy that gets to ride the baboon back, you are the master race now.
You just won.
You've just won in life, right?
Correct.
So we are here with Jon Henderson. He is the owner of Good Time Tricycle Productions. They put on some of the best festivals and events in New Jersey, and we're learning all about them. So we have AC Beer Fest, which I think as of April 1st, what the price goes up just a little bit, right?
Up. Listen, I mean, it's expensive. Things cost money.
Yeah.
You know, this is the world we're living in. Yeah. So we tried our best to keep it as affordable as possible. But I'm very proud of the offering, right? You know, once you pay all your Ticketmaster fees and all that junk, you know, the ticket's just shy of $100.
Yeah.
You know, and when we build these things, we think about that. We think about the money that we make. We think about the money that the parasites on the sides make, right? Because that's what Ticketmaster is. It's called what it is.
It's mind blowing how much money they make to just facilitate.
Yeah. It's like my back's hard. Oh, you're on my coattails, bro.
Yeah, exactly.
What's up? You know, so. You know, you're roughly around $95, and I promise the juice is worth the squeeze. And I tell people that. Like, we're committed to making sure you are a good time. You know, we've done it for 18 years. God forbid I don't have a massive heart attack, and, you know, I can do it for 18 years more.
Knock on wood. You're going to keep doing it. You put on the best events. You need to keep going.
I see your shows with all the food. I worry about your massive heart attack.
I'm on a diet, too, by the way.
I call bullshit.
That's
Thursday
like
night, he ain't on any
I'm
diet.
able to eat that kind of food. And I love every minute of it.
Yeah.
First week, he was like, oh, is this what we're doing? And then by the second and third week, he was like, shit, this is what we're doing. Let's get to it.
Yeah.
So session 1, Hot Mulligan.
Yep, Hot Mulligan.
Free Throw and Just Friends.
Hot Mulligan's a new band, and I don't think people realize the awesomeness that this band has. This kind of old school, like cooler than emo, but angsty, better than the Wonder Years vibe. And I love the Wonder Years.
Okay.
And this band is just energy. And it's funny, we booked them, and I'm like, oh man, these kids are like 12, bro. And GoFar's like, no, this is the band. Listen, I trust Jason implicitly.
Sure.
You know, when I throw ideas out at it, you know, like, here's what we're thinking, we come together, and, you know, and he finds stuff that I didn't think about, or, you know, we work very well together. He's been booking my entertainment for fucking 20 years, right? Dude's aces, right? He's my best friend. Yeah. So, you know, he brought and I'd listened to him a little bit because my daughter, who's 21, listens to him, and I'm like, all right, you know, normally your music sucks, you know, but I'll give props to Taylor Swift all day long. I'll be a Swift. I ain't afraid. I'm gonna see her naked. Did I say that on the air?
Yes, you did.
Absolutely.
I am so in trouble when I get home. She watches. She's like, I don't have to put out because he's going to say dumb shit on the internet.
There you go. Cheers. Hope the couch is comfy, honey.
That's right. So, you know, we book them, and I'm reluctant. I'm still like, oh, crap.
Because they're carrying, you know,
it's a big
the
chunk.
session.
Well, you know, I believe the beer carries the session, and I always say that.
Right.
You know, the beer carries the session, and we create the soundtrack with cool acts, right? So it's like
it adds the value.
It does.
To
it really does. Yeah. And it's discovery, like a new band like Hot Mulligan. Like, you know, we've all
I'm
heard
looking
Saves
forward
the
to it
Day.
because, it's going to be something I haven't seen
something
before.
fresh.
Discovery. You know, and y'all harken back to it in every conversation we have.
I'm looking at the picture. The one dude in the band looks like Silent Bob.
Yeah, evil doer.
They're all this big.
Yeah, they look young.
They're all tiny.
They're young. Yeah.
They look young.
So we go and I was like, all right, let's go see them. They played the Fillmore, and the place is mobbed. And I'm looking at everybody. I'm like, all right, okay, you've got a beard. You might be 21. You got and I'm like, all right, because I want my audience to be 24 plus. I just do.
Yeah.
And then I go stand by the bar, and my daughter and her friends around. She's like, oh, come hang out with us. Like, no, I got to stand by the bar. And they're like, why are you standing by the bar? Because I want to see what everybody's drinking. Yeah. I want to see, are they getting seltzers? Are they getting beers? Right. Did I make the right decision?
People that will enjoy their music and the beer that's being served.
Did I do right by the breweries that are taking the time and the investment to be a part of this program, right? So I stood by the bar, arms crossed, like I knew they were looking at me like, yo, who brought their angry dad?
Yeah, look at this old dude staring at us at the bar.
Yeah, and all those kids growing our mustaches.
Yeah, dude. Listen, I don't know how old you are, but I'm gonna say that we're probably pretty compatible in age.
Take a shot. Take a shot.
So I'm gonna be 44. So I'm gonna say you're probably right in the same wheelhouse as me. Maybe got me or the same age as me. Maybe a year younger, a year older.
I'll be 50 in August.
John's 50.
Wow, good for you, man.
Yeah.
Baby face 50-year-old
daughter.
over here.
So we get it, right? We're cut from like a different thread.
Yes.
When it comes to that.
Yes. Yes. Did you crack into your Macallan?
No,
yet?
I'm about to right now.
I did. It's gone.
Well, I'm watching you, and it was a complete error.
Why?
When there's 3 full glasses on the table, you don't touch it till the other gentleman sits down.
Yeah.
I'm watching. I wasn't judging you.
Too bad.
But I was judging you. I was like, PJ's just going for it. He put a straw in that bottle of Macallan and just went for it.
100%. I'm ready to pour a second.
It's got some legs on it. It's got some balls, man.
It does.
You say legs on every show, so you
do.
said it on this one now. So legs on your glass.
Keeping the legacy
You
going.
got a legacy. Nice. So
Super clean.
I did buy some beer to support some friends that I knew would be down at the AC Beer Fest. And
Spellbound Johnny, yeah.
this is the mesmerizing porter, and it is by Spellbound Brewing Company. They're located down in Mount Holly. Over 100 breweries are going to be down at the Beer and Music Festival, right?
We're at 111. I think I'm going to post a thing on Monday that just kind of cycles through everybody.
Dude, I'm drunk just thinking about that.
Dude, I'm drunk just paying for it.
It's so much fun, though, because you do not have to repeat anywhere if you don't want to. I mean, you just go. Even if you only drink a certain style, the chances are there's going to be 40, 50 breweries that are pouring something that's in your wheelhouse. And you just make your way around, grab what you want. The fact that there's 111 breweries means the lines won't be so crazy.
Yeah.
They'll still be crazy.
They'll still be crazy because they always are. But when you have 111 choices, plus all the vendors and the food and things like that,
Distractions,
you'll
yeah.
find fun
This
things
is
to
an
do.
inside event, correct?
This one is
This
inside,
one
correct?
is. Yeah, it's at the convention center down
Well,
in Atlantic City.
it was funny. Our learnings, right, going into it from inside to outside. When we went outside, I learned something about, we're always learning about our consumer, right?
Yeah.
Constantly. It's just an education piece. Every event, every year, hundreds of events, over 1 million people at this point. Everything's learning forever.
Sure.
And I learned that outside, and it's why I went 311 and why I went Dropkick, and I didn't go pop punk outside.
Yep.
Because I learned these skinny jean, black shirt wearing kids
Yeah, they don't
in
want
the
to be
sunshine
outside
are
in the
like,
sweltering heat. Yeah. Yeah.
and then if it rains, they got all that oil draining down their faces. Their pants tighten up. They can shut.
Yep.
It's like, so all right, let's change it up a little bit. And inside, I could bring back the emo, the pop punk. It saves the day. It doesn't get any more skinny jeans, and what saves the day.
Yeah, I was going to flip to that next. So we have Saves the Day, Catch 22, and Action Adventure. Who's Action Adventure? I haven't heard of these
right
guys.
now.
They're great. They're very ska-esque. They're
I
very
love
kind of
ska.
bop.
Ska is such a cool style.
It gets such a bad rap.
Yeah.
It gets a bad rap.
Who doesn't like ska though?
Dude, it's a
minute.
thing. I get people mad when I book ska. Like,
Really?
I was so excited that Goldfinger, because they were supposed to be the 2020 band.
Ah, dude, I was waiting to talk about that. 'cause,
Yeah,
like,
yeah, they were supposed to be the 2020 band, and I was stoked.
Yeah.
I was like, this is my wheelhouse.
Yeah,
Goldfinger, Superman, yeah, I'm in. Sign me up, right?
yeah, if you don't know the song "Here in My Bedroom,"
Yep.
then we're not friends.
That's it.
Yeah,
That's
I
it.
used
Yeah.
Superman
You're 14.
to advertise that he was here today. Yeah, that's here in my bedroom.
It was funny. Like I said, I jump around. I can't help it, right?
All good.
So COVID happens. The festival was 15 days before COVID, right? So they shut COVID down, and the festival was supposed to be 15 days later, right? It was literally supposed to be 15 days later.
Yeah, because they shut it down middle
Yeah.
March.
Yeah. And St. Patrick's Day, my wedding anniversary. Hear the duck?
Quack, quack.
Bro, I got
It's
the
Gold
bands,
Farm.
bro.
It's Gold Farm. Bro.
What?
I'm doing this podcast. You're on this podcast, and it's streaming live on Essential Guy Talk. So we can't talk about bands. They want me to.
Unless you want to, go ahead and
No,
say
he
it.
can't. He can't. He hasn't sent them the check yet.
No, well, I had some important conversations to have.
See, so you're live on Essential Guy Talk. So
Let's hear
you're-
it first, Gold
No,
Farm.
you can't do it because he hasn't sent them any of that. Did it go the way that I thought it was going to go, or I wanted it to go? It's yes or no.
It's none of that.
Am I going
It's
to be
more
mad?
of a conversation I had with a specific other agent that might want to sway our decision making.
I like that about you. Are you watching
What?
this show? Because I really jerked you off on this show.
Yes, he did.
I did. I jerked you off on this show.
Unfortunately, I've not been watching it yet. I plan on watching it, the replay, but
It's on my
I've been running
FaceTime.
around like a maniac.
Yeah, no, I jerked you off pretty good, bro. So you're live on the
well.
show right now. It's on Facebook to I think 5 billion people are watching.
Yeah,
Yes, I
Class
think it is
A
5
fluffer.
billion.
Yes,
Right.
5 billion.
Right. So I'm gonna hang up on you, and I will call you, and we'll have said discussion as soon as I get my truck.
Yep.
All right, cool.
Word.
Later.
He actually didn't sound like super stoked on the
Yeah, it
phone.
sounded
No,
like
he
he had
doesn't. Jason's job to an extent is to manage my expectations.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can
So
get
you're the
them.
dreamer.
I'm a.
Yeah.
100%,
by the nature
right?
of what I do. By the nature of what I do. Yeah, it's can fire shoot out his ass and can we do like
Right.
that's my vibe, right?
And then he's like, let me see if if it's going to be cool.
And when he says he spends my money worse than my wife does, I will say that's a real thing, right? So, and it's all, and I always know it's going to be expensive because it starts off, well, it's not my money, but I'm like, it's gonna fucking hurt. But then it's usually good.
Yeah.
It's like when he brought 3, because you called me as soon as I announced it. When he brought 311 across my desk, I was like, all right. And then he brought the price tag for 311 across my desk. I was like, I was like, kids, nobody else is going to college. But yeah, so reverse COVID, our bands were Newfound Glory.
Yep.
Right? Like we're 50 and we're still whiny. Newfound Glory, it was Goldfinger, and it was Against Me. And at the time, Against Me was hands down my favorite band. Like this band, and I talked about this the other day. I could have booked. We're gonna get into a weird political thing. Are we cool with this?
That's okay.
It's a human thing. It's a very human thing because I actually genuinely like to talk about it. I could have booked Against Me 4 or 5 years earlier, right? And if you don't know, Against Me, Laura Jane Grace, lead singer, transgender, right? Okay. Rock and roll, like straight up rock and roll. Are you either of you familiar with Against Me?
No.
I'm familiar with the band.
Okay. Fantastic, right? Yep. Rock and roll, like I just love the band. I love the band. They've since broken up. So we've had the ability to book Newfound Glory, and that happened in 22. Alkaline Trio, Thrice.
Yes.
Had that opportunity, right? Thrice. I saw you go up Thrice. Great band, right?
I was like, wow, actually.
Yeah.
Alkaline Trio is pretty badass.
Yeah, Alkaline Trio is cool.
I'm not a fan.
Really?
Yeah,
really?
I'm not a fan. But we don't. He tries to talk me out of booking what I'm a fan of. Because remember, I booked The Descendants, and I was like, yeah. And then
I love The Descendants
everybody's
too.
looking around, going, "Whose dad's on stage?"
Yeah, I like that one too. But I'm someone's dad.
Yeah,
I think that makes sense.
Factual statements.
Yep.
So we had the opportunity to book Newfound Glory because they were like, hey, we made this commitment during the COVID thing, and we want to do this. Like most of these bands we book are rad people, rad people, and we're fortunate. And then I was like, all right, well, we're going to get these bands in. And Against Me broke up. And I had planned on it, but I struggled with, I didn't struggle with the transgender thing. I was concerned about my crowd because we were just coming out of, there was still an element of broism.
Yeah, sure.
Kind of, and you could see
the treatment that they were going to get.
I want every one of our acts, as well as I want every one of our breweries and one of our attendees to be treated with respect and have a great time. And I don't ever want anybody to feel uncomfortable in an umbrella that I've created. That,
and honestly, you can't control it once it's out there and they're doing their thing.
You want to make sure that you can mitigate as much as possible. And I watched a brewer kind of rise through the industry. And you may know her, Ingrid.
Of course.
Amazing brewer. I don't know why she doesn't brew anymore, but I watched kind of her rise and kind of the respect that she got in the industry, and I was like, I think I can bring in watching this piece, which was that kind of litmus test and that catalyst to say, all right, my crowd's going to be super cool with this, and I'm going to show them some rock and roll. Yeah. And I'm sad it never came to fruition. Right. But hearken to Goldfinger. So last year, every year since COVID, like Goldfinger, hey, do you want to play? Hey, do you want to play? Like, we want you here. Like, this wasn't one of those, all right, it's canceled, it's gone, yeah, we'll get to you. No, we want you. We want Goldfinger. I want Goldfinger. Okay. Our crew wants Goldfinger, and Jason hits me up as we're starting to book. He's like, yo, Goldfinger wants to play the show.
Awesome.
I was like, send those men their money.
Yep.
Whatever. Pay that man his monies.
Pay me my money.
Pay that man his monies. Right? Yeah. Heck yes. So, we get Goldfinger in the mix, but saves the day. Like Chris, I've got a great photo. They played a decade ago. They played for us, and we don't normally repeat bands. Right. Chris was so much fun. When Saves the Day play, he ended up playing the Boneyard, which was at the time, it doesn't exist anymore, an acoustic set at a dive bar. Mm-hmm. And the owner of this dive bar didn't know what was going on. He just saw all these kids with these comb overs and tight T-shirts kind of roll into his bar. He hadn't had that many people in his bar, I think, in the existence that he owned it. Right, just people flowing out the door, crowd surfing to acoustic music, kicking his ceiling tiles out, and it's just like, dude. And he's bitching about him, like, bro, come on. I mean, look at your bar, like you're running out of liquid right now.
Yeah, the good, the bad, you got to take it, right?
Take it with what it was. But so we checked a lot of boxes, of course, minus the the Against Me piece, but we got these bands to come back and kind of say, all right, well, we made these obligations. I'm a big proponent of if you say you're going to do something, you do it,
Yeah.
even if you lose a limb doing it.
Yeah.
Like I said, I was going to do this. So, like we've done events that I said, I'm going to pull this off and this is going to be awesome. And I'm going to give this experience.
Yep.
And it gets to the point where really nobody's buying tickets, but I promised this experience. And I said I was going to do it. So we're not scrimping.
So
and
you
we're
gotta
doing
work.
this. And
Gotta work
here
on
we
it.
go.
Yeah.
Right. And then we improve on it. We show people the vision and they show up.
Yep.
So I have a quick question for you coming from one of the chat avenues. Kelly wants to know, for your breweries that are going to be participating in the AC Beer Fest, are they all NJ-based breweries?
No. There's amazing beer all over the planet, right?
Yeah.
And we don't, there's great New Jersey breweries, and that's probably 45% of it, right? We really, we lift up craft beer. We actually create, for New Jersey craft beer, we create a passport that if you make a donation to our friends at Punk Rock Saves Lives, $5 or $10 donation, they give you a passport. And if you hit every New Jersey brewery and get a stamp, every New Jersey brewery that participates in the festival, and you get a stamp from each one of these breweries in this passport, you send it back to me, I'll give you the next year ticket for free.
Wow.
Because I want people to experience New Jersey beer.
Yeah, wow.
There you
That's
go.
actually a good deal.
Yeah, and it's an endurance challenge. Like, good
Yep.
luck. Like
Promotes
hey,
a couple of ounces from each one of the
Yeah.
locations.
Yeah. No, I mean go to their breweries.
Yeah.
Not run around
to
the
their breweries.
Go to the brewery.
Right.
You take a beer adventure to every one of these 60 plus New Jersey breweries that are participating. You have a beer, you get a stamp, you hang out, you support that brewery. You send me your passport with those stamps, and I'm sending you tickets.
Which is a good deal. Let me ask you this too. Like, I'm looking at the tickets here, and there's obviously a general admission ticket, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then there's a VIP ticket.
Mm-hmm.
What's the difference between the two? What does a VIP ticket get you at the show?
For one, it gets you a jump start, right? So you get in a half an hour ahead of time, right?
Okay.
And then we have this elevated space that's directly in front of the stage, right? So if you're not a crowd surfer, if you're not getting into that mix, we condone crowd surfing. Just get up there, have a good time, hope you don't break a hip, sign this waiver real quick, right? So it gives you an elevated stage, and we do this thing called sausage madness. Sorry, my vegan friends, we snub you. People are like, what do you have for vegans? I'm like, disdain.
Yeah, exactly. Sometimes the vegans don't get to play with the
I don't
meat
mean
eaters.
that. I don't mean that at all. There's bags of potato chips. So, there's sausage madness that we call it up there, and then there's, they get water, they get a swag bag that's got a bunch of stuff from, stickers and swag from different vendors. You get a Beer Fest t-shirt. There's some, free water, and you just get a place to kind of get away from the chaos that is the rest.
And I'll tell you, like 75% of those VIPs just love getting in early and getting to hit anywhere that they want to without like a 20-minute line.
Yeah,
I mean,
there's a trick. There is a kind of, when I tell people like, oh, how do I do the beer festival? It's like, go discover the things. See that discover word?
Yep.
Drop that on there. It's going to happen constantly, right? Go discover the things that you were curious about. Get through that, and then go visit old friends and see what they're up to.
100%.
Right? It's kind of the way I always I tell people to do it, and always start from the back and work your way forwards. Right? And in the VIPs, you get in a half an hour early. You can go up and check in and just kind of hang out and chill, or you just go get it.
Yeah.
Go get it.
Yeah, go get it.
So,
And there's a little bit of an older dude. Like that would be
that's
something
the move.
that's
Listen.
You know?
After the government gets their piece right with taxes, and then Ticketmaster kind of sponges on. It's $200 ticket.
Yeah.
Right. So it's not cheap. But we're gonna give you a little bit of food. You're gonna get a little bit of exclusivity, and there's only we sell 6,000 tickets per session. There's only 200 VIP tickets.
You used to sell more than 6,000 too, right?
We did. So it was funny.
It a little bit.
And this is by design.
Yeah.
And if I knew you were going to go here, because you're very good at this.
Thank you.
Very good at this. Not your first rodeo.
Not my first.
So last year, I admittedly screwed up, right? We booked Dropkick Murphys, and thinking that a Dropkick Murphy fan is innately a beer fan, and that's incorrect.
Right.
It's not correct.
They were
right?
there to
They're a
hang
Dropkick
out.
Murphy fan, and they wanted beer. They just wanted full beers. And I had a pile of volunteers that are usually the wristbanders not show up. We had 80 booked, 12 showed up, right? 'Cause the weather was it was like the perfect friggin' storm. Weather was terrible. It was, and
Should have told me. I would have gone to work.
dude, I was in there putting wristbands on, and people are looking at me like, "Aren't you the guy in the video?" I'm like, "Yep, here we go. Get in there, have a great time."
If I want to be in a new video, I got to do
That's
this
it,
now,
dude.
right?
Yeah,
I got to
seriously.
carry the day.
So it felt like, and to an extent, we probably oversold that festival, right?
Yeah.
We oversold it, and I admitted it. I said, "Listen, I got on." I said,
That's what I really appreciated. I mean, you took it head on and you said, "Look, man, we make mistakes. We oversold it a little bit.
I called it.
And I think you've done right by them by giving them now 2 avenues, inside and outside. We're shrinking them down a little bit so they're not going to be overrun with people, so people don't think you're just chasing the dollar, which you weren't anyway. You just wanted to give everybody a chance to see the band, right? Because Dropkick Murphys.
It was the band. It was the beer. It was the experience, right? And I think it had the weather not been as crazy, right? June.
It was windy as shit
degrees,
again, right?
Windy as shit, right? Crappy. You know, that probably charged everybody's emotions a little more. And listen, I get it. Doesn't make it right, right? Doesn't this goes wrong, this goes wrong. Sure. I'm still the captain of the ship. You know, so take ownership, right? You're driving the bus, man. If the bus hits a wall, bro, you're behind the wheel, right? So jumped on the old interwebs and was like, hey, here's what happened. So, you know, and people are like, oh, it's a crash grab, it's a cash grab. And I was like, had to show them not like I'm cutting 1,000 people out. 2,000 people out per session. Our capacity inside was always 8,000. Right. Now I'm saying, all right, we're going to just 6,000 of y'all, and we're not raising the prices. Right. You know, yes, you're going to pay more because of Ticketmaster. You know, but you know
that's out of your hands.
We're,
you can't do
but we're taking a punch in the face into our revenue stream. You know, and how do we make that up? They're like, oh, you're doing 2 to make it up. Actually, no, because the other one costs just as much to produce. So I'm spending more money for less revenue because I told you as a consumer that I understand where the problem was. Right. And, you know, we're identifying it because we want to make sure that that Atlantic City Beer and Music Festival experience that you've started with is that beer and music festival that we created, and we apologized. And I sent everybody like, hey, we've got this witchcraft event. If in the next 2 weeks, if you were this mad, I'm going to give you a massive discount on this event that is so just interactive. And some of them took advantage of it, and I still, every so often, somebody's still mad. They're just hanging out in their mom's basement like, damn you, John. You know, so.
At the end of the day, the people that respect it the most are the people that know business. They know that, look, it takes so much effort and time, and sometimes you don't get it right. And when you don't get it right, you take it on the chin, you move on.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I have to, you know, what was that, 17? I still should have had it right. Like, I you know, there was parts where I was like, I fucked. And I owned it. I owned it. And you have to, people hate big companies. They just want to be mad at it. Like, people hate
shouldn't
when you
make money.
Yeah, like making money is a bad thing. Like, but then you don't want to live the American dream. You don't want to try to do it on your own. You don't want to try to make money. You don't want to provide for your family through your own kind of hands and effort.
It's
and
jealousy
thought,
talking.
You know?
It's people that aren't putting themselves out there. They're not doing anything to represent what they love. They're going to check in at a corporate job, or they're doing something they hate. They're angry about that, and then they're reflecting it on this.
I mean, look, people want to be mad. People get mad and write a bad review about a restaurant if somebody in front of them farted in the line and it had nothing to do with the restaurant. You know what I mean? Like, people want to hate before they want to love, right?
I fart in lines all the time.
You dropped on the son of a bee.
And I pointed the guy next to me.
See who
like,
tastes
see
it.
this guy?
But at the end of the day, the 6,000 are going to go and love it.
I'm proud of what we do. I'm very
you should
proud
be.
of what we do.
You should be, because I walk away from each one of them just smiling. It was such a vibe. It's such a fun experience. Look, things go wrong. It's kind of just the nature of business. But when the good outweighs the bad as severely as it does, because you've been doing this so long, I think that just makes you human to see that, look, a mistake was made. It was a perfect storm of crap that happened, because if it was 65 and gorgeous out, nobody would have said a thing because they stood in line an extra 10 minutes. No big deal.
But then next day, 3/11, how awesome was that day?
It was the most chill, laid-back day, calm weather. 311 puts that vibe in the air.
What's up with that dude in his abs and just physical
He's
fitness?
Nick amazing.
Dude,
Nick Hexum is a cyborg.
Like, I'm like, my wife listens to 311 now. You know, and I'm like, you're listening to the 311, but I hear reverb. I'm like, what is going on?
Dude, they are the coolest band of all time, I think. I mean, I've been a fan since the 90s. So.
Me too.
And just, I don't ever really kind of fraternize with the bands. I just don't. It's not, that's Jason's job. And, you know, I walked up and I was like, and I like to say, hey, thanks for being a part of it. And he was thanking me more than I was thanking him. Wow. Yeah. I'm like, all right, can I get that money back?
You want to give me like 10% back? That's cool.
Like, cool,
that
man.
trip from Omaha, Nebraska wasn't cheap, my friend.
But dude, when I tell you, and we talk about it, like, there's good experience. Every band, like, I can kind of hearken different experiences through bands that we've had or experience through any other fest. What a great! They sounded amazing.
Yeah, their engineering sounds beautiful.
Nice.
Their instruments are so crisp and clean.
They've
been doing this 30 years.
Enjoy it. They enjoy it.
They have
put
such
on
a good time.
show.
Yeah.
Their music is super chill. Like, I mean, it's super energetic, but it's like it's a cool group of people that typically follow 311. So like the vibe you're getting from the group is is on keel.
How many bands have their own day? 311 day, man.
Yes.
I've gone to 65.
You're a huge fan.
Yeah,
You're a huge
65, 311.
That's more than me. I'm
events.
like in the 30 plus right now.
I went on the cruise in 2012, proposed to my wife on the thing, got a nice tattoo dedicated of it. But getting to hang out with the band on the cruise is the coolest thing ever because they are one of us. They are literally just hanging out with you.
Is he doing sit-ups the whole time?
Yeah, he's insane. So he's always been in good shape, but the last like 10 years, he's just
really
got
good
himself
shape.
into like godlike physique.
Such
I think
envy.
he's on the Tom Brady type of
such
program.
envy. I have
It's
such envy.
ridiculous. All the women at those concerts are just like, all right, just shut up.
Me.
Yeah, exactly. Just buzzers going off everywhere.
Yep.
So speaking of small businesses that are doing big things, we got King Sauce in the comments.
Carlo.
So
Eat
they,
the sauce, you motherfucker. Eat it.
So they,
That's my Carlo impression. You'll get him on the show. Like, I would not. So, and I said this to you, and I hope he hears it, and I hope he listens, and I'm sorry I interrupted your King Sauce.
no,
plug.
do it.
When you bring them in, because you will bring them in.
they're
a
coming
couple
in
of
in
weeks.
A couple weeks.
Don't let him come in without his meatballs. I kid you not.
I
Carlo,
hear this,
I need your
Carlo.
meatballs.
Do you hear this?
Yep.
And I'm a meatball snob, by the way. They better be fried.
No.
No, they're baked.
Yeah.
Oh,
No, don't
I don't know.
don't.
You're gonna have to prove me wrong on this.
He will.
Italians don't fry meatballs. That
Yes.
would saute fry. That's it.
And then,
Just give a little crisp on the outside and then bake it.
Yeah.
Or skillet. But either way, they sent me some sauce. I received it just today, which was
thank
awesome.
you for that.
So I tried it on a few different things, like some French fries on a burger. This stuff is dangerous.
It's really good.
It is. It's announced as creamy, tangy, bold, the king of condiments. I literally don't need any other condiment. I like ketchup. I can taste some of it in it. Like I can taste all these different flavors in this. It's very creamy. It's got a little tang to it.
It's mustard forward, right?
It's not crazy mustard
No,
forward,
but you
yes,
get
there-
it. You get
yeah,
it.
Yeah, there's some mustard in there.
Oh, see, they
But-
are fried. That's my man right there.
No, they are fried. All right.
That's the key to any Italian meatball, man.
It's saute fry, right? Like it's half a pan
So
of.
is he chiming in over there on the
Yeah,
interwebs?
yeah,
So he's
100%.
coming. So you get him in the show.
He
Bring
is
those
coming.
damn meatballs.
Carlo, bring your meatballs, man.
Yes.
Bring your balls
Bring
and
your
we will
balls,
taste
buddy.
them.
Now he's going to show you his balls. This guy is unhinged.
All right.
You are going to enjoy.
It's guy
Carlo.
talk. If that's what happens, that's what happens. Locker room, right?
Here's something else I really liked about this when we were eating it before, because I tried this the first time before as well. The bottling of it is on point because I literally just had the bottle and I put
was
the
just
stuff
dabbing,
on the burger,
right?
And then on the nuggets, I was like, boop, on the nugget, boop, on the fry. Like I just held the bottle in one hand and just kept putting it on things. Like
He said to me, watch out
Genius.
because you're going to plow through it. And I absolutely will. I'm not going to have to put like a little ketchup, a little mustard, I'm just putting this on it. You get everything.
Well, we all look for that one condiment that I got to put ketchup, I got to put mustard. I'm not in the building in my food. I don't make food. I eat food. So if you get something like this, good. Thanks for playing. French
Rob
fries.
Evans said balls for all.
Yeah.
And then King Sauce said, hell yeah, we're coming with mad balls.
Nice.
So thank you. Good call on that. I'm gonna have some meatballs. So once again, King Sauce, guys, check them out. They are a local business here in New Jersey. They're doing big things. This stuff is going to pop off. And actually, where you can get them is at the AC Beer and Music Festival. They are one of the vendors at the festival. So if you guys go see King Sauce and go buy yourself some sauce. So I'm excited. They're coming in one day before AC Beer Fest.
You're gonna enjoy it. You're gonna enjoy those gentlemen.
I'm looking forward to it.
I'm looking forward to the show. I can't wait.
So thank you very much, guys, for sending your sauce, and now I'm looking forward to your balls.
it's delicious.
See, plug.
100%.
Plug. Bill
While
is
we're
in the
plugging
Nothing
away
wrong with
over
it, right?
here, I also saw, and I forgot to ask you about this, John, when I was asking you about the VIP tickets, and you're telling me about the swag and everything else that comes along with it. There's a bullet point here that says masseuse.
Yeah.
So you're telling me you go to the AC Beer Fest, you get a little rub and tug?
Not a rub,
and some
just
beer?
a rub. The tug is on your own. Tug is on your own. Yep. No tug included. So our friends at Anchor Day Spa, and it's gonna blow your mind because they're all beautiful and they're fantastic. They're beautiful inside. They're friends of the family.
Yep.
Every event we do, they've got girls on there because you're walking around, you're on those concrete floors, you're drinking, it's just like have a seat. just let's give you a little squeeze,
Let's go.
loosen it back up, and then get back to it. That a boy, and a slap on the ass.
Yeah,
and
little 5-10 minute massage
That's all right,
and
enough to
be on
juice
your
you back
way.
up
That's
again.
it.
Just get yourself ready.
Again, we think about the human experience. Like, I want to make sure that, if you're paying top dollar, you're going to pay $200 for a ticket, that at least you go, all right, I got a massage. Like,
So that's part of the VIP package.
that's part of the VIP
Oh,
package.
And you get like some exclusive bathroom access too.
Yeah,
right?
so I mean, as
You don't
exclusive
have to
as
wait in line.
me jamming a porta potty and hiding it with some,
With some pipe and drape, right?
People are thankful for it because, what goes in must come out.
After a couple of sessions, you don't want to wait in those lines
Yeah,
if you can help it.
No.
So how many VIPs do you sell?
We do 200. That's it.
That's pretty exclusive.
It's exclusive. There's a handful left. So if you're listening and you're thinking, I'm kind of snooty and, I got my bonus, or, hey, it's tax time, let's spend some of that loot. Man,
I'm like,
click buy it now.
how do I upgrade myself to a VIP?
right.
I'm 42 years old, man. The older you get, the more you start thinking about those experiences.
Worth
You're
it,
like,
man.
Yeah.
when I go there, I don't mind spending the extra money to give myself a little more comfort. A little more leisure, right?
Comfort.
100%.
Absolutely,
I
right?
recently went to the Dave Matthews concert at PNC, and like back in the day, I'd be all about like sitting in the lawn section, smoking weed, like hanging out.
Now you want to sit in the
40s?
VIP,
Yeah, bro,
smoking weed, hanging
I
out.
sat like in great seats. I got to sit if I wanted
Yep.
to.
Somebody brought you beers and
Yes.
beverages.
Yeah,
Yes.
it was worth it. It's
Yes.
worth every penny of it at that
Yes.
point.
Yes, I agree. I mean, comfort. I mean, that's what kind of human beings. That's what we strive for is comfort, right?
And as you get older, you start to respect those things
do.
more. When you're
You do.
young, you rough it, man. You just do what you got to do. You're dehydrated, and somehow the next day you bounce back, we can't do that anymore. I overdrink a little bit, and I'm hurt for 2 days.
St. Patrick's Day is weirdly my anniversary.
Yeah.
So I remember it, right? And I married
Smart.
an Irish girl, Mulligan. I always tell her, I can do it over again. No. Right? We did this pub crawl and kind of got it in, and the last 2 stops are a blur,
Yeah.
but the 2 days of suffering after the fact are not.
100%.
Yeah, I was like,
And
I
you
just want
know
some meat.
your limit, right? And
I don't.
You don't.
I've learned that I don't, because I do it in general in moderation.
Yeah.
I
So
love
you don't
edibles. Edibles are
really
my kryptonite.
feel like you're What do you love?
Edibles are my kryptonite.
I'm more of
so then-
like a smoking guy.
I
man.
love flour.
Yeah,
love
that's my
flour.
jam.
But there's that one time it was like, if 25 is good, 50 is awesome.
Yeah, of
So
course.
it's like, and I do everything in moderation because I like to try my beer. And I like to savor beer. I like to savor bourbon. Like, in moderation. But when we go after it, I don't realize how quickly I go after it.
Right.
And then
Then
I'm
you're
ahead
already
of it.
past the point of
I'm
no
ahead
return,
of it.
right?
It is looking at me going, slow down.
Yeah.
Slow down. Yeah.
And if you slow down now, all you're doing is getting back close to where you need to be.
Yeah.
You're still way past.
And it's only 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
You're sobering up by 10 o'clock at night, right?
You're like, oh no, and stuff's on fire behind you. Your kids are crying. You're
What
like,
the
what
hell
do I do?
happened? So if you guys are just joining us, I'm here with Jon Henderson. He is here from Good Time Tricycle Productions, puts on some of the best events in New Jersey. We've been talking about the Atlantic City Beer and Music Festival and then the Summer Sessions, which is a new thing, and you guys are going to want to check that out as well. I just want to go over your schedule real quick because people have probably heard events. You probably heard some things you're interested in. You guys are doing something almost every month, from April on.
I'm a staff of 4 people.
I know. I looked at your page, and it's just you and the ladies, right? And Goldfarb, who does
Goldfarb, yeah. And Justin, who does the video, all that stuff that makes me look handsome.
Yes.
That's Justin.
Yes.
But we're
He does
essentially
some good videos.
He does a great job.
Yeah, he does good videos.
He really does help us tell a story well.
Sure.
But yeah, we're 4 people.
And you do so much for a staff of 4 people. But then you grab people, to do your
day of,
bracelets
day
and
of, yeah. We
a lot of
have an army.
volunteers. And
And we know everybody. It's a family. It's it's friends. It's you'll always see the same faces, and they'll always be happy to see you. Yeah.
successful events are dedicated people that dedicate their time and their energy, and they feel your success is their success, and they're a part of it.
Currency is different for everybody. And I say that it's not always $1. It's helping a friend out. It's being a part.
Experiences,
It's being a
feeling
part,
good,
yeah.
like at the end of the day, that little crew put on this huge event. That's
And
something
they're a
to be
part
proud
of
of.
it, yeah.
Yep. So we got the AC Beer and Music Fest, April 12th and 13th. We have the Atlantic City Cigar Social, which we mentioned just a little bit, May 18th. That's right in our wheelhouse too. So tell me a little bit more about that.
So I'm a cigar guy. I've been a cigar guy for 30 years, right? I can remember my first cigar when my son was born. Guy handed me a cigar. It was an Ashton. I was like, this is really nice. And it was kind of all downhill from there. I had one point in time, in a whim, I bought a cigar shop, and I ran a cigar shop and tobacco lounge for 4 years. And I
Nice.
sold it to a buddy. But I've always been in the cigar culture. Again,
That must have
discovery.
been enjoyable because it started your social planning, right? And like hanging out with
No, I was
people.
already doing it.
Oh, you were doing that already?
Yeah, I was doing it. But what it did was I lean into hobbies very aggressively, right?
Yeah.
And
Biking. And,
yeah. And you know, it was like, you know, I found this cigar shop that I'd frequented ended up being a defunct cigar shop. Like the guy just wasn't putting any love into it. And I was an event guy and an experience guy. So I was like, all right, well, let me take this off this guy's hands. Took it off his hands for kind of a song, literally sang, and then kind of went on this excursion to, you know, explore all these different cigars and manufacturers and kind of leaned more boutique-y and wanted a story with all the cigars and, you know, just kind of really got into it. I launched Liga Privada. I was, you know, in New Jersey. I launched that Liga Privada 9, which is probably one of the most popular cigars in the country right now.
Awesome.
And we curated this group of people who celebrated cigars and just brought new people in and new people in and new people in. And it kind of, you know, the day I sold the cigar shop, it was to a friend who wanted it. He was like, hey, man, I want to do this. And I was like, you know what? I got other shit to do. So, yeah, man. Here you go. Like, here's what it's cost me. Here's what's in it. You know, I don't want to make money off you if you're going to continue this tradition. Fucked it up, but but you know, it was a passion project, and you know, the Cigar Social, you know, comes from that. It comes from like my love of cigars and
so you get to still do it in some aspect, you know. One day a year now, you get to really celebrate your love of cigars.
I mean, I've been to Nicaragua, you know, to cigar manufacturers and kind of done that experience. And
so the Cigar Social, you got hand rollers there that are rolling.
So there's a hand rollers.
Right?
It's 24 of right now some of the hottest cigar manufacturers in the country, and a lot of them lean very boutique-y, right? Yes, we've got Fuentes. Yes, we've got Ashton, but we also have Stolen Throne and who else? Hiram and Solomon and all these kind of discovery brands, Dunbarton, that are just a fantastic smoke, you know, and it's like the new Cuba, right? The Dominican Republic, Nicaragua, they're the new Cuba, right? Awesome. You know, the seeds, you know, in Cuban cigars are a myth, right? And people don't really say, oh, I got a Cuban cigar. Who cares? You got a Mexican cigar. Who cares? You know, the tobacco, you know, the seeds have come from Cuba and really established themselves in Nicaragua, the Dominican Republic. And we give you this experience where you're going to smoke these cigars, you're going to meet these manufacturers, but then you're going to do, you know, you're going to do flights of bourbons, and you're going to do pairings, and you're going to learn about what New World really means to some of these manufacturers.
May 18th?
May 18th. Yeah. If you're a cigar
guy,
put
it in the calendar.
Like if you, and what's nice is you can smoke your range, right? Some guys like, oh, I like heavy, I like medium. You're going to learn more about cigars that the experience will change your tobacco palate.
Right? I was such a novice when it came to this. I was just recently talking about this with Chad from last week.
Yeah, Prime 13.
Prime 13 brought us over some cigars too. And I didn't realize, like, I always see people smoking cigars or whatever, but I didn't realize like the whole science of the cigar.
Cured
and
leaf,
how it opens up the palate, and you're supposed to drink it with certain
pairs perfectly with
and
bourbons or with scotches
the
or
flavor. And I also didn't realize that like you're not supposed to roll off the ash. The ash is supposed to stay there for as long as possible. And there's all of these like
it's weird. It's different. It's like plume. It's like, so the ash thing is actually so your cigar burns evenly.
Yeah.
It's why guys keep it. So
I mean,
it's not a flavor thing.
Called boating it. You know, we talk about that all the time, right?
And you're like, that makes my head explode. If I'm smoking a cigar and I get a boat, I'm like looking for another cigar. But you're committed. You're pot committed. You're in it. You know, you don't put out a cigar if you don't have to. But there's so much nomenclature when it comes to cigars, and we had a cigar with this manufacturer a couple weeks ago. His name's Didier. I will tell you, it's probably one of the best cigars I've ever smoked. I've smoked hundreds of thousands of cigars. It is the only kosher cigar that exists. And it all comes down to every tobacco has bacteria. Every tobacco has enzymes. Some have less than others. He really focuses on this. And he's very boutique. You know, he makes 100,000 cigars a year, right?
Oh, my God. And that's such a small amount if you think about it. Yeah.
And it's like, I did a review. Every year I do my 5 favorite cigars of the year, my top 5 cigars of the year. And they're not cigars I smoke on the reg. They're things that I've discovered that I was like, oh my gosh, this is real. And it takes 3 or 4 for me to say, oh yeah, no, this was an amazing smoking experience. And a lot of times where you're at and this company you're at and kind of
experience as much as it is.
It is.
And that's why if you have a couple of them, then you can go, it wasn't just the experience.
So you're picking up what I'm putting down.
I got you.
And he did this Didier Joseph, and it was my discovery, like best cigar of the year. Like, holy crap, like how do I get? And they're very hard to get. So I put out my favorite, blah, blah, blah. And I get an inbox, you know, and it's like, hey, thank you for doing that for me.
Yeah.
I was like, oh no, great job. Thank you. You know, he goes, you know, do you see my I've got 6 6 cigars that he does, right? The Solomon, the Julia, the whatever. The Solomon being his kind of his big cigar.
Yeah.
And he's like, pick a cigar, and I'm going to send you a box. Like, and I'm like, no. I want to sample across your line. So if you want to send me something, send me some of the other things that I haven't smoked.
Yeah, give me a new experience, right?
So 4 days later, this box shows up at my door. And I'm like, wow, I just wanted to come a couple cigars, man.
Yeah.
So I bring this box inside. Thunk. What?
He sent
Open
you
it up.
100,000. He sent you a
All
whole shipment for the
cigars.
year.
I am Didier now. I'm Didier.
Wow.
Right? I'm Didier.
So what I mean to say is I reopened up my cigar shop, and now I'm Didier.
There we go. So I retired from events. So I open this box, and here's this black box, and it's the Solomon, right? Which, I open it up, and there's a love letter from Didier, and thank you, and and I've been in the cigar world for a long time. I've been in the consumption world for a long time, and it's very rare that you see that level of appreciation.
Yeah.
So I go online.
He sensed that though. He could tell that you're a guy that appreciates these things.
So I go online and I'm like, well, out of curiosity, what? The box of cigars, New Jersey retails $1,400.
And he knew you weren't going to be the guy
but
that
I didn't
hawks
think
and
about
resells them.
Yeah, and so all of my friends, when we talk about like when and I know you're a cigar guy, I'm like, let me give you a Solomon. Right, my buddy Lambros, who's a cigar guy, he owns Greens and Grains. We refer to him as vegan
So
cigar.
that's what he's expecting you to do.
What's that?
Give them out
It makes
to
sense.
people.
It makes sense.
That will really appreciate them.
Why covet it, right?
No,
Why covet it when I can share an experience?
100%,
And
yeah.
some of us are wired like this. And a box of 20 cigars, I've smoked probably 5 or 6.
That's what I was going to say. Keep a little batch for yourself. Start giving them out. It's the same thing. We do Wagyu night every 6 to 8 weeks where we get me and a core group of like 6, 7 guys. And we go in on a Wagyu box. And then we get some of our other friends to come in on it. And we eat $1,000 worth of luxury meat for like $100 a person, $90 a person. And we all get to enjoy the experience. And it's more so just the community of people coming together, bringing the best in bourbon, the best in scotch, the best in craft, and sharing those experiences. And it's the same feeling. Like I cook it all for everybody. I get such a good feeling by cooking it and serving it to everybody and seeing everybody, break their Wagyu cherry sometimes for the first time. Just like you would get that feeling if you gave somebody one of those cigars and they'd never had one before. Why hoard them all for yourself, man? Life is about sharing and being, enjoyed together. So that's awesome.
How are you going to stay on a diet on this show?
Dude, I don't know.
Tough.
Like, it's a real thing.
And it is, but we've had the pleasure of having some of the greatest local restaurants on the show so far.
And it's been a
man.
month.
Yeah, right? Right?
Yep.
My expectations have not been let down when it comes to this at all. And I'm sorry I wasn't talking. I was looking through your Facebook page and all of these events that were going on. I was just watching like a video recap of the 2023 season, and I'm like, man,
awesome.
John and I need to be best friends.
Because John's life,
best friends?
John's life is months of stress working up to it, and then a release of just celebration, right?
Yeah,
and then you go on your ride and you do your thing, and then you come back and do it all over again.
And it's funny. Like you go through spurts of anxiety and spurts of this and spurts of this, and I'm like, I'm like, oh, woe is me. And then I look at like the rest of it, and I'm like, no, shut the fuck up.
Life is pretty cool, man.
Shut up.
Seems pretty rad. Like, from over here, I was about to tell you to shut the fuck
Yeah.
up.
Like, look, did you see a picture of my wife? That woman's beautiful.
Yeah.
Like,
See my wife?
yeah. Like, let's see up. Like, holy shit.
Life is good, man.
Whenever I whine and complain, I tell my friends, just tell me to shut the fuck up. Just tell me to shut the fuck up.
Well, I mean, you've curated some of the coolest things that people love into
events,
your
man.
everyday life, and it's become not only what you do, but you get to kind of celebrate with everybody else and see what everybody else loves, right?
Dude, from a production side of things and what I do I can really relate to all of the anxiety, stress, and work that comes along with executing a top-notch production for people, you know, and it's seldomly that you get to enjoy it. Even, here as things are unfolding, while they're unfolding, like the enjoyment, although I love what I do, during the moment is like, it's just so much hoopla and stress and putting fires out and, and then I come back and I look
figuring out why we can't hear the
that was crazy.
Like, I can hear the room. I can hear the room.
But then when you come back and you look at the magic in post, after the fact, and it's like, man, this is really fucking awesome.
Well, it's
really cool.
It's funny because when you're doing it, but then when you're reliving it, it's like this. Like I'm sitting here bullshitting with you guys, and we're talking about kind of these little things.
Now you go back in your
and
mental Rolodex.
And it's like this is when that sense when you're doing it, you have no sense of pride. It's function.
Yeah,
it's function,
execution,
and it's like
execution.
Like, are you smiling? Like I'm looking at faces, smile. Why is she not smiling? Go. Like, and if I'll walk through a crowd, and I'll randomly talk to people. Like if I see you not smiling, I want to know why.
Yeah, why?
And I beeline for it, and it drives my wife nuts. And I'll be talking to her, and then I'm like, I'll be right back. Boop. And somebody's not smiling. Hey, what you got going on? What'd you drink? What'd you do? And then off I go. Right. And I do that constantly. And I
notice all of this about you, though, because I'm a guy who throws parties. We throw events for a living. I love seeing you in that element, looking for people that just need that, you know. Maybe they're not miserable, but they just need to be like jolted into the moment, right? Be in the moment. Enjoy this. You guys paid to be here. Is there something that's bothering you, or you know?
Talk to me about
it.
Yeah,
let me know. But most people, it's just, oh no, I'm having a good time. My boyfriend's a dick, but I'm having a good time.
Right,
It's something like that.
I got a lot of those boyfriends. I can find you a new boyfriend. Like I got a stage. You see
There's
the 311 guy? There's a bunch
here,
of guys who do sit-ups. Like we can find you. Yeah, right. Like come on,
we'll find somebody for you.
But yeah, so this is the parts where. When you asked me to do this, I was excited because you and I talk, we have 100%. Great banter. And I was like, this is the opportunities that I have to celebrate it because I get to talk about it. And this is when I feel prideful about these things, right? It's like, all right, I think I did a good job because if I did a shitty job, would you have asked me to come and talk about it?
No.
And for me, it's super interesting as the first-time consumer because we didn't have this history. So I didn't even know about all of this stuff. So, like, now that, like, I'm like, how do I not know that this is happening?
There's so many cool things that are happening underneath our nose, and if we're not turned on to it, sometimes it just passes you by. Yeah. But everybody I have told to come to an AC Beer Fest who isn't even a huge beer person,
you don't have to be,
has walked away from it going, that was completely different than I thought. Because you can go and you can taste hot sauces. You can go there and you can have beef jerky. You can go and listen to the music. And it's just watching 6,000 people have a blast.
People watching is one of the best spectator sports.
Like, that's why I lead to the costumes and stuff. It's so much fun.
To sit back and watch the human experience, be it Seafood Fest, be it Cigar Social, be it Witchcraft, be it Micro Wrestling, be it Tattoo Expo, just to sit back and kind of just be witness to the human experience. I think people devalue that, right? Like I don't mind overpaying for Great Adventure to sit on a bench and just kind of let my head turn. We have a season pass to Great Adventure, and I would say personally, I've been on maybe 5 rides in 6 years. Yeah, I mean, my kids going on the rides is fun, but people watching, walking around, just taking in the environment,
smells, the sounds, right?
Speaking of smells, going through the zoo and the safari. There's some smells for you.
Still do that?
Yeah. Drive through again.
But you can drive through.
Drive through again. Yeah.
The monkeys can rip on your windshield wipers?
No. They've totally changed that. There's no monkeys near your vehicles.
Rub their
Back in the 80s and 90s,
I'd be crying like, I see that baboon, I can't do it. I just won't go through that gate.
Back in the 90s, did you used to go through it?
Yeah.
When they literally could take your antenna off and smack your car
and pull your
with
windshield wipers, and they wipe their ass all over your. I remember the 90s, like that's what we would do. Like we would roll a blunt. And go to the drive-through safari.
There were times when I called out of work. I used to work at Circuit City and Brick, and this was like the early 2000s. And I would call out of work. I'd smoke with somebody, and we would go through the safari, and it would just be like, this is life. I just one day off of work. I needed it. Just relax, see the animals. It was just such a good, simple time, man. But at the end of it, then you were just like, I
would never volunteer to drive through because they do fuck up your car.
Well, I had a different experience. My stepdad hated me, so when we went through the lion section, he rolled down the window.
The lions aren't the ones you need to watch out for. It's the ostriches that you need to watch out for.
And the giraffes with their tongues just reaching in. Yeah.
I've got some great videos of my daughter and son in the back seats, and the giraffes are coming right up, eating stuff out of your front of your car, and so it's so much fun.
Yeah.
I don't mean to shift gears here, but as I'm looking through things, and we kind of touched on this a little bit before the show went live, when I was talking about, you have the AC Beer Fest. What about the Weed Fest? Yeah. And I see, looks like you teamed up with the company Brutes Roots.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Tell me a little bit more about that. Like, is that on the horizon? Is it something that you could talk about?
Yeah, no, I freely talk about it. So we were a big part of how beer festival legislation actually happened. So the guidelines for beer festivals in the state of New Jersey, I wrote those. You know, so every beer festival in Pennsylvania took the guidelines, in Connecticut and
Yeah, because craft beer wasn't the thing it is now.
Yeah, we were ahead of it. We were ahead of it, and it came from my desire to drink better beer, right? Yeah. The weed thing, you know, is New Jersey's passing, and I'm fortunate, and you know, we all have this, and this is kind of, I guess, you know, mutually have the gift of, you know, being able to create relationships, right, and knowing people. And a friend of mine who was with the ABC for a lengthy period of time, when the marijuana initiative was pushed forward, he was the attorney that they pulled on to be the attorney for the marijuana initiative. He's a great guy. You know, some people kind of probably disagree because he's legislation, right?
Yeah, of course.
But you know, when the marijuana thing was happening, now you see pop-up weed events everywhere, right? And by design, they're not legal. You know, they're just, townships are turning a blind eye, which, you know, I applaud those townships, as, you know, places are trying to figure it out and still kind of, you know, not really pushing back on giving people affordable weed, because dispensary weed is not affordable. Cheap. Well, Brute's Roots, weirdly enough, that was Jimmy who owns Brute's Roots. That was kind of his mantra. It's like, I need to make weed affordable. I need to make weed affordable.
Yeah, because it's cheaper to get it from your guy.
It is. Everybody's got a guy.
And until that changes, then you're not going to sell it in any max capacity like you could if it's similar. If hooch out of the back of a house was cheaper than me going to a liquor store, I'm going to go get it. I'm going to go get, you know, moonshine from somebody instead. Yes.
Well, his mantra, and we kind of we sank up pretty well. You know, great dude, a lot of fun. Kelly, the whole team is a lot of fun. And when we sat down and I went to his grow, he invited me to go to the grow farm, and I was like walking around going, just licking plants. And like, listen, I may or may not have grown some weed of my own at some point, right? Maybe not, plausible deniability, but you know,
if I did it, like that book.
If I did it,
if I grew it, this is how.
So I knew what I was looking at, and I was doing, and we got into, and he's like, I want it to be affordable, but I want it to be good, and I want to be the legal I want to be your weed guy, right? And if you watch the video with sound on and, you know, do it kind of and that's what it is. It's an endorsement of like, hey, we all have a weed guy, you know, and if you don't have a weed guy and you want clean and you want safe and you're fearful and you know, this is that group. Like, I trust them. And if you trust me from the programs that we do, you got a weed guy.
You know what I've noticed? I've started to notice a cultural shift in the last like year or so, where it went from completely taboo to even talk about legal weed. People still talk about it like this, even though it's legal.
That's how the video starts.
Right. That's like 40 years of my life.
Ingrained into you. Yeah.
I mean, I wasn't smoking weed when I came out of the birth canal. But, you know what I'm saying?
Why is that vagina so smoky? Why is that a smoky vagina?
But it was always hush hush, right? It was always hiding it. And you can get in trouble. So like when they legalized it, it was like mind blowing to me. When I first went into the dispensary, which we have right down the street from here, I was like, dude, what? Like you can buy any of this stuff? You know, like you could smell it, you can look at it in a magnifying glass. The person at the counter is like, so
it's literally Apple Store for weed.
It is, right? And sometimes they're just as pretentious as the 100%. Apple Store people. But it's you know, the time. It's a cool time, man. Like we talk about people. It's
a transitionary period that's pretty interesting.
It's interesting. It's an interesting time.
So my wife said to me, like, what about when your kids grow up? If they tell you that they're going to try it and stuff, and I go, I'm going to approach it the same way I approach this alcohol that I like, in moderation. And if you know what you're doing and you're responsible and you're doing it at home,
right
I
place,
get
right
it.
Time.
Yes.
If it starts to take your focus and your mind and you're not doing other things, then just like any other vice that we do, you smoke cigarettes, you drink alcohol, too much is too much, right? So I'm going to approach that in the same way. And she was a little shocked at first because she was like, but it's weed. I go, no, it's as legal as this is right now.
It's actually less toxic for you than that.
It's significantly better. It's I don't want to get on the preachy.
Right, we're not trying to tell you to go through it.
I totally could.
100%.
Box here on that.
Yes, you know, it's just better.
Yeah.
It's cleaner. It's this stuff, cirrhosis of the liver, all that kind of stuff. But I still love it because it's moderation. I'm not sitting here drinking the bottle, just like I'm not going to eat a 250-gram edible.
Speak for yourself, son.
I'm not going to.
Listen,
I'm not Joey Diaz from the Rogan show.
When I was like 17, man, like, you know, think about what we had to do compared to now. And I know you're supposed to be 21 to go to the weed store or whatever.
No
and
stems and seeds that you can see.
The swag of the Mexican brick of weed. Yeah. But, put that to the side because, kids are drinking alcohol under 21. People are smoking weed under 21. That's always going to be the way it's going to be. But we had to go outside of the house. We had to roll up blunts and joints and go for a ride in the car someplace, where we could potentially
spraying
get
yourself with
arrested,
all sorts of cologne,
ruin your life over it. Now they've got it into a safe space, where now, I don't know if any of you guys grew up like this, but we did have, I had one friend that had really cool parents, and the parents were, do it here. You know what I mean? You can hang out here, smoke weed here. It's controlled. It's safe. You don't have to worry about crashing cars, doing.
We had the friend that used to let us throw. The parents used to let us throw little parties after our soccer games and stuff. All our keys would go into a bowl. They would take care of it, and we could have some beers and stuff.
That was my parents.
Right?
That was my parents.
Okay, so if it's controlled and it's watched over, it's safe.
It's safe.
So first time I smoked weed, I was 27 years old.
Wow.
My dad.
27.
My dad had addiction issues, right? And I saw it, right? And weirdly
that'll
self-aware.
stop you from touching
and I was
anything.
Like,
right?
I was like, I was straight edge until I was 25. X's on my hands.
Yeah, people don't know. These kids don't know about that.
Yeah,
I remember.
Straight edge. Don't drink.
Did you do the safety pins on your pants?
Yeah,
which kind of went with the punk thing.
I was
too,
a hardcore
right?
kid.
Yeah,
Youth of Today came out. We had X's on our hands. And kind of lived that life. And my dad got his stuff together, but I saw the addiction, and and my parents were super cool, right? They were like, if you're gonna party and you're gonna drink, you guys are gonna do it here. And I was like, all right, I'll watch you guys. I was always the designated driver. My 21st birthday, man, everybody else was wrecked, and I was like, nah, I'm good, man. I'm in a good place.
So now you throw events where you watch other people and you just let them do their thing.
I'm like, 15-year-old me would have thought you were a bunch of dirty dirtbags, right?
Exactly.
But what it did was it kind of learned the moderation and the respect for consumption, right? Yep. And
not everything's bad. Too
not
much
everything's
of things
bad. And then,
are bad.
But first time I smoked weed was I worked in the casino industry, and I had a friend, a customer, who was like, hey, I know your wife's birthday's coming up. She's going to be 30. I got some joints for you. And I was like, awesome. I want to try pot. I'm down. And we sat on our porch and we smoked this weed and just laughed and laughed and laughed. And now we just sit on our porch and we still laugh and laugh and laugh.
It doesn't change the way it affects you, man. For the most part, you're happier. You're just more willing to let things roll. You're just more willing to sit back and relax.
I'm very pro weed.
Calms most people down.
Well. Yeah, I'm very pro anything that's going to take a load off, right? And in moderation, and mutual respect for the people around you, and it's and I take cigar smoking the same way. I'm very cognizant when I'm smoking cigars of who I'm around. And
not
who
saturating them with smoke.
And there's a kind of two lane highway to that. There's the one person who sees it and just hates it because they see it. Yeah. Right. I'm over here and I'm a bench a mile away from me, and you say,
look at him.
He's coughing the fake cough.
Hey, you over there? Yeah. That's disgusting.
Look at you enjoying yourself.
How dare you?
Yeah, but it's
But those people are everywhere, and you just got to let them be,
Yeah. Those are the people my crop dust.
Yeah. And I would be with you on that. Yeah. It's amazing, though, if you do go to the dispensary and you see the versatility in client now that go to the store, you would be really shocked at the people.
Oh, Mima. Mima loves edibles.
Yeah.
Mima, it's my accountant, we were out getting it in, and my accountant's like, I just took a 15, but I was like, yo, bro, you count my numbers.
Have you ever heard, Tom Segura do his whole thing about his mom?
Yep.
It's the funniest thing I've ever heard. Have you ever heard it before?
No, because it's accurate.
Yeah. His mother texts him one night while he's in the other room and says, Tom, do you have a gummy? And he's like, my mom just asked for a gummy. So I was like, yes, of course I do. And he goes, she takes it. About an hour later, she texts me again, and she goes, do you have another gummy? And he's like, whoa. Of course. So he gives her two. And he said she was texting the funniest things from her room, sitting straight up. And she was like, I can feel my heart beating out of my body. So he goes on this whole, it's hilarious. But the older generation, They're getting in on it because they always did. They were the flower children of
they were buying
the
$3 lids in the 70s.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So Jason Goldfarb just commented.
Oh, he's
and he goes,
chiming
no moderation here, getting lit now.
Especially after
Ladies
that
and
phone
gentlemen,
call
Jason
from
Goldfarb.
before.
After that phone call, right?
ladies and
Sorry,
gentlemen,
we're
Jason
keeping him for a little while, but thanks for tuning in. Jason Goldfarb. So we're here once again, just if you guys are hopping in for the first time. It's Jon Henderson, Good Time Tricycle Productions. He puts on the AC Beer Fest. He puts on the AC Seafood Festival. He does witchcraft.
Witchcraft.
That's
It's
what
a play on words. It's funny. It's a play on words.
The bonfire thing. You got a bonfire thing
See,
going
you're
on,
paying
too?
attention.
Yeah.
So there's this event, and you guys probably heard about it. It's called North to Shore, right? And it came from this inception. Apparently, Governor Murphy and his wife went to South by Southwest and came back and said, "Here's a pile of money. Boonk. We can do this." And I was like, no, that's not how that works.
Yeah.
And last year, they kind of fumbled around it. And this year, they came to us and they were like, hey, you guys create experiences. Can you help us kind of curate the Atlantic City piece of it?
Sure.
And I said, yeah, let me, my piece is, let me do an event. My team, let me do something that we think is going to be impactful that nobody's ever done in Atlantic City before. And then let us help curate your community stage. You go and hire the big headliners and you do all the kind of, the big stuff, and let my team and the community members, because they curated this very cool process of giving grants to local artists, be it painters, musicians, dancers,
right.
And they gave them a nice chunk of change each to kind of produce their own events. Or I said, let me help these people with that. My skill set is helping curation. So you do the big stuff with the Live Nations, the Boardwalk Halls,
Yep.
and let me help you with this. But I want to do my own event. And, I like to set shit on fire. Like, it's not a lie. Like, if you dig deep in that, you're going to see me with flamethrowers.
Yeah.
And,
Bro,
Why wouldn't
you
you?
should have been here yesterday. We had 2 fire dancers for a music video in
the back room.
Yeah, spinning
Let's
fire.
sidetrack. This is an impressive facility that you
you.
gentlemen have put together.
Thank you very much.
Like, you can feel love and attention, and you can feel it. Like,
Yep.
you guys have the vision for this, and we talked about the show before kind of it got going.
Yeah.
Like, I'm embarrassed that I'm just really discovering what you guys are doing.
We
now.
want more people to feel that way, honestly,
do.
because
I do.
this is a little gem in Tinton Falls that people just don't know
Yeah,
about.
like
you know?
I drove an hour and a half, and for a second I was like, I'm fucking driving an hour and a half. And I get here, I was like, all right, yeah. I would have driven 2.5.
It's
This
not
is rad.
somebody's basement.
It's not.
Some wires hanging everywhere.
Like, I was half expected for your wife to be yelling at us down the stairs in the basement, going, "Are you done? The meatloaf's up here.
Meatloaf!
Yes, yes, yes."
If you want meatloaf, I can order it. But
So yeah, I mean, this is rad. Like,
Thanks,
I walked
bro.
in, I think you might have picked it up. I went, huh? And then you're running around plugging shit in. I'm like, it's not a GoPro on a stick.
No,
like,
man.
you walk in, you have a sound room, you've got a room engulfed in smoke, and I'm like, all right, did I?
Neil, cut that and use it as our next promo.
Yeah,
Because honestly, that's what we want.
It's super rad,
Bro, that is
like,
the ultimate compliment, and we get that reaction a lot because a lot of people don't know about us here or that we're open to the public. But we have been so fortunate. I mean, we're still growing. We've been so fortunate to what we do. We work in the creative field, man.
Yeah, 100.
And as you can see, and we've had the opportunity to work on some of the coolest stuff, man. So
They had Leonard Skinner in here a couple of months ago.
was here.
The actual teacher Leonard Skinner or the band?
The band. The band.
So we had Johnny Van Zant and Ricky Medlock in here. They launched a whiskey brand called Hell House. They were coming into town to play at PNC, and they came here. We did their we didn't do the filming of the photography, but we did the stage design and the lighting design. They came in, they did their promo shoot here for Hell House, which just recently got published in a liquor magazine called Chilled magazine. We did the last 2, you know who Ace Frehley is?
Oh, yeah.
So we did the last 2 Ace Frehley videos.
Not mini Ace Frehley.
Yeah,
exactly.
We've had a couple other celebrities. We did Mike the Situation's audiobook here. He's actually a cool dude.
Nah, he's a cool dude.
He's actually a really cool dude.
I just want to dig
20 years ago, wouldn't have liked hanging out with Mike.
You liked hanging out with the situation.
Yeah, he told us some
cool
stories.
dude.
He was a really cool guy. We spent 2 weeks with him, but we, primarily, so we're like the Swiss Army knife of production. But what we do back there is we do a lot of film and controlled performance scenes. As you can see, it's like a stage. So artists come here and they film the performance scenes to their music videos, and we do all of the stage lighting for it, all of the lighting design, and the sound reinforcement for it, and sometimes the filming, depending on the project itself. But it has really afforded us the opportunity to work with some incredible people over the course of the time that we've been here and make relationships like this. And then you discover it, and now you're like, oh, dude,
like,
I
holy
know
shit.
This place. You know what I mean? Like, let's go do something.
Yeah.
And
Oh, my gears started turning, and as we're talking, I'm like, I like hanging out with these guys, and like we're in the creative space, and I'm like, holy sh! When we walked back, and he's like, oh, and yeah, don't mind the smoke. I'm like, the smoke, and it's like billows out. I'm like, whoa, this is awesome. Like,
I mean, that's the reason why I extend the invites to people to come, because I want you to kind of see things here, and you get your gears turning. I know you're the most creative person, so you're going to be thinking about different ways to utilize the space, bring other people into the fold, and just how we can use it.
If you ever get somebody who's like, hey, man, can I just Zoom it? Have them call me. Just have them call me, right? It's like, this is congratulations. Like, I know this is just a seed to a tree, and you guys are.
That's it.
Like,
but I mean, it's like
cheers.
It's like year 4 of the beer fest for you. This has been 4 iterations coming for me
with growing pains.
Pains, I started with a company called Cosmic Radio, and I did just radio back in the day, 2013, where I was doing sports talk radio, and I knew this internet thing was a thing, and it was going to get bigger. And then I got to the point where me and AJ came together, and we wanted to do essential guy talk, because I wanted to extend it way past sports. I have so many other interests, just like you, with the cigars and with the craft beer and all these different things. I wanted to kind of sprinkle all of my interests.
You wanted your ADD on the air.
Exactly.
100%.
I want to be able to drink a Macallan on the show. I want to be able to have King sauce on the show and not have it out of place.
No,
I want this all to be, kind of come together to be my favorite things, and now James's favorite things. And he has this studio that's just such untapped excitement.
Now you walk in and you feel like
everybody has said the same thing. Man, I didn't know it was here, but wow.
Well, you pull into this plaza, and it's like, the dance place across the street, and the
fencing academy.
Yeah. Although we should fence. Like, I saw it, I'm like, we're gonna go to sword fight.
Couple more of these, and I would love to go do some fencing.
Suit and just go
we're not putting on suits. Come on, man up. No suits. Yeah.
You want to go do karate in the garage? Do you want to do fencing in the next door?
Congratulations,
dude.
Guys.
Thanks, man. And let me touch back on Rob. Rob. Actually, Ace is the man, and you can go check out the 10,000 volts video or Walking on the Moon. 10,000 volts is more live action and lighting, where Walking on the Moon, we actually put Ace in front of a green screen, and the whole thing was shot on green screen. And then the dude's over at Black Wolf, so I'll shout out my man Alex from Black Wolf. He's an incredible director, put the actual videos together, and Rob has listened to the album already. Yeah, the only video we didn't do here was that Cherry Whatever song, which, no offense, but
Cherry Whatever. No, it wasn't a great song. It wasn't done here. It wasn't done here.
But dude, the
wasn't
dude
done here,
is a legend, right? And he's such a cool dude, and he comes in and he's got like. He walks in with like 10 different guitars, bro. And they're like one of one, multiple tens of thousands of dollar guitars. Like, he's got a guitar with a hazer built into the pickup. So as he plays it, the smoke comes out of the guitar itself, like it's on fire. And these one-of-one blue Strats and stuff. And he's such an OG, so not only is he like super famous, and he actually designed the KISS logo. He was a graphic designer. Yeah, so he was a graphic designer before that. He made the KISS logo himself. The Spaceman. So he comes in, he does his performance, down to earth dude. And then at the end of the performance, this is how OG he is. He sits down, he grabs a bunch of paper from and a Sharpie, and says to me, "Tell me everybody's names." And then literally hand out everybody here on staff an autograph. Now, to us, we're a little bit older. Autographs are like, wow, I have Neil back there. Yeah, he's 28. He's like, what the hell is an autograph?
What's an autograph?
Right? Yep.
But the dude took the time, didn't need to, just took the time on his own. We didn't have to ask him to write everybody like a little thing.
And KISS is usually trying to make money on everything they do, right?
Yeah. Super cool. And Skinner too, dude. Skinner, they were the coolest dudes I've ever met. You talk about don't need to be cool. They're Rock and Roll Hall of Fame legends.
Yeah.
They came in here after traveling all night. They got into the state early in the morning. Our shoot was early in the morning. They weren't, like over celebritized. They took the time to hang out with us. They were telling us road stories. They were chopping it up, laughing with us.
Those are the things that you take home, not just the experience of knowing that they recorded here, but the stories they tell, and just the overall vibe that you.
Dude, they're Leonard Skinner, man.
There's life experience that's almost godlike. Yeah. All of that.
And then we've had and I'm not gonna say who this celebrity is, but then we've had another celebrity in here, and they were the antithesis of that. They were very diva, very. We're all peons in the production staff, Not
there we go. We got the guitar that you're talking about,
Neil.
Right on Neil.
Yeah,
you're
there
the
you
best.
go. There's the smoke.
There's the smoke coming out.
You
Look,
can see it up there.
Yo, Neil's got mad skills, bro.
So we did.
That's the beauty of having
2
somebody
sets for
working
that
the
shoot.
board while we're doing this, right?
We did a projection set in the back, and then we did the live lighting set with the cold sparks. And shout out to the crew here, Neil and Chris. And Chris, you don't see on the show, but Chris is the lighting genius in the back. He runs everything in the studio in the back, takes care of everything, and really lets us succeed.
Yeah, this is not two chuckleheads with microphones.
It is two chuckleheads with
you got
microphones.
microphones. You just got.
But we're supported by a lot of really good stuff.
It's behind the scenes, it's actually NASA.
Yep.
It's like we're either gonna do this or we're gonna fly rockets.
You saw me running around plugging in ears to everything. Why is there sound over here?
Your reaction has been the reaction for the past 5-6 weeks, and I love seeing it. I don't like to prompt everybody exactly what they're getting into when they come here.
Yep.
I want you to just come because we've had a good time talking. Let's have a good time talking on the radio. But at the end of the day, when you see everything that's going on here and all the fun stuff, this is unique. This is not your everyday podcast.
Yeah.
This
and
is
that
something
hits home
that's
for me, John. I really do appreciate that.
No, James,
100%. We're going to wrap up before long, but I just kind of want to recap the schedule. I started doing it, but we have.
I will interrupt everything you say.
I love the tangent.
Like if we're going to interrupt with jokes, it's like my wife is going to go, "Hey, you went that whole episode without telling a dick joke." And I'm like, "Yeah."
Tell one now.
No, I won't do it. I won't do it. I won't give her that satisfaction.
That would be a stiff test. All right, so we said AC Beer and Music Festival, April 12th and 13th. It is coming up just a couple of weeks. Me and James are going down there. We're going to shoot some really cool video.
Sweet.
We're going to get some good interviews. We're going to get to kind of go place. See, now the beauty of this stuff is that I don't have to be stuck in one spot. Mm-hmm. I can go to each little area. I can interview people in their world and get instant feedback on what they're pouring and all of that kind of stuff. So people will get excited.
Looks like a lot of sick vendors on the roster for that too.
Listen, man. It's
a lot of people come every year too. A lot of the same beef jerky people and stuff, right?
So it's a commitment, right? So we create relationships, and I'm very, hey, if we can help lift a vendor up, stick with us, man. We're going to keep bringing you and introducing you to new people. You're going to create old friends that are come back. And so it's
people that look forward to, I look forward to going and getting all the different bison sticks and stuff like that. 100%.
You will never
bacon
find
on
something.
a stick.
Yes. No, I mean, you bake it in your pocket.
You're so good about it, dude. J&J Beard Company, Garden State Beardos.
Yep. That's a
Atlantic
great
City
name,
Beard
by
and
the way.
Mustache. I feel like I'm part
You're
of the
home.
team
Dude,
right now.
we rock a lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? We rock a lifestyle. We're mustached Americans. We support our own. Yeah.
I'm gonna hit up the Hempsels. That sounds really good.
Yo, that dude will be holding.
Yes, he will. 100%.
That dude will be holding.
And Charlie from Cyprus will be holding too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll just say that. But all right, then we got the Atlantic City Cigar Social. We talked about that. That's May 18th. We have the AC Beer and Music Festival Summer Sessions on July 13th. We have the Knee High Wrestling on July 20th, and that's Ducktown Tavern. How long have you been doing that now?
This will be our 6th year.
Yes. All right. Awesome.
I'm trying to check my schedule for May 18th.
Dude, I'm going to just check it off. Every single event we're going to put in the calendar. We're going to be on as many as
I would
we
love
can.
for you guys to come check out the
Dude,
cigar
right
social.
now I don't have anything on the calendar that day.
Just come and hang.
Dude, I'll walk you through.
Will
a
you
cigar.
remember me?
100%.
Okay.
That's how I'm wired. But no, it's we'll walk you through a proper cigar experience, and you'll.
That's it, because I enjoy cigars. I'm obviously not as educated about it as you, but I understand the passion behind it. He's never had that experience.
No,
I know, and my bad that I didn't realize, because I would have brought some stuff down.
Oh, that's Okay.
Your
All
fog
good.
machine in the back wouldn't have done nothing in comparison.
We got special fog in there. Just hang out back
We're
there
good.
for a little bit.
We're good. But this is just the beginning of this relationship. We're going to keep on, checking in with you and seeing how things are going. So AC Down Beach Seafood Festival, September 14th and 15th.
Yeah.
And then Witchcraft, October 11th and 12th. And then you wrap up with the AC Tattoo Expo, right?
That's the event that started it all. Yeah.
That's the event that started this whole beautiful movement of, was it Good Time Tricycle at that time?
No, it was just AC Tattoo Expo drawing the wild card. Yeah, that's what all it was.
What was that September date?
September 14th and 15th for the AC Down Beach Seafood Festival.
If you are a seafood lover,
Love it.
It's heaven.
We go to the seafood festival up here all the time, and I can't get enough.
I can't do the 15th, but I can do the 14th.
Of one or the other, that would be just fine. My birthday's September 19th, so I will celebrate.
And what's the
that
October
down there.
date?
The October date's the 11th and 12th. It is Witchcraft.
Yeah,
That's that cool one down in Hamilton,
and
right?
it's a play on words, witchcraft, and people are like, "Oh, it's spooky, it's Halloween." I was like,
it's
"No,
Witchcraft beer, right?
which craft do you prefer? Craft spirits,
Witchcraft. Like
I see what you did there.
And I don't know,
Bing,
but
bang,
I have to
boom.
explain it, so it wasn't as clever as I thought. Because I'm like, "Oh, you know how clever I am? Let me explain how I do
Make
it."
a shirt that says "Which craft do you
Yeah.
prefer?"
Yeah.
or something like
I
that.
do the 11th. My wife would enjoy that, because we used to do the haunted house thing.
Yeah.
But now that she's gotten a little bit older, she's 21. Unlike you, I'm going to be in a good place tonight.
You
when
don't
I get
want to
home.
sleep on the
Look at
couch
you go.
tonight.
Damn it, James.
But she doesn't have the same temperament for the scare factor as
She'll
she
punch
did
a bitch.
with-
So that's what she'll do. If you
Yeah.
scare her, she's
Yeah.
gonna punch
So
somebody.
this is something that would definitely be on our radar to get us out of the house and do something a little bit different. So I'm enticed by all of, you're going to see us at all of them.
Yeah,
Oh, I
Tattoo
appreciate
Expo, November 8th, 9th, and 10th. They do live tattoos there, man.
do
It's a
shenanigans,
good
it's
time.
fun. It's
I mean, I would like to go to all of them. This would be just a party a month, but we're gonna get to as many
in
as
moderation,
we can.
we talked about moderation. I'm going to be here a long time,
Or else I'll be sleeping on the couch because my wife will be like, "You're partying every single month
and you're
down in AC."
broke because you came home with all these pockets full of beef jerky. Yeah,
Honey, I don't have money, but I've got jerky.
that's right.
And that's as good as money. So they're putting on amazing events here in New Jersey. John, it's been such a pleasure, man.
No, guys, thanks for, I know this is just kind of the beginning of the journey, and thanks for including me. This is really
Yeah,
awesome.
so much. Right away, I was like, dude, AC Beer Fest is coming up. This is like the perfect time for me to have John on. We could talk about it. If you guys have liked anything that you've heard, please go check out Good Time Tricycle Productions, or you can go to Facebook, look up the AC Beer and Music Festival, and go get your tickets. You're going to want to go, guys.
Yeah,
It's
follow us
so
on the
much
stuff.
fun.
Yeah.
But right there on the screen, we've got the AC Beer and Music
that.
Festival because Neil is on his
Will
game.
he put my OnlyFans page up?
Yes.
Hey, Neil, put my OnlyFans page up.
Yes, let's do it.
I thought it's only man.
It's only
Only man's.
just feet and hairy knuckles. Yeah.
Two things. Is there going to be another, I'm going to say this word and you can
Say it.
bleep it out in post, another midget wrestling event? Is that
That's the 20th of July. Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah,
That's
the
my birthday.
knee
Is
high
that your
wrestling.
birthday?
That's my birthday,
Joe,
bro.
I can get a midget to spank you for your birthday.
What?
I'm
Bring
like
him up.
Walt Disney
Bring him
making
up.
dreams come true.
Bring him into the freaking
Yeah.
ring. And
That's incredible.
Oh
Yes.
my
I'd rather
God.
be there than watch the Tyson Logan Paul fight.
Yes, because it is. That's the day.
We could go down a rabbit hole. I'm so mad about that. It's not even fun.
Yeah.
Right?
Like, he doesn't even deserve to be.
Is
in a
that
No,
not?
of
Is
course
that not Mike Tyson's Punch Out? Is that not?
It's-
is that?
yeah.
I shared the picture of
saw
Glass Joe and
Yeah.
Mike Tyson. It's exactly what it is. But it'll be on Netflix, which means you can watch it whenever you
Maybe.
want.
Well, I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna do the Ducktown Micro Wrestling, and then when everybody gets there, and you guys are welcome to
Do
join
like a
us,
watch party?
We're just gonna watch it. After
Yes.
this, And if the
Cool.
if the ring's in there, and somebody's like, "Yo, I'm pro Paul," I'm just gonna take him up in the ring and beat his ass.
before there's two things I want to say before we go. One,
Yeah.
Do you believe the rules in that? Is that for real? Like
Yeah.
they can wear helmets, they can fight them at the same time. They don't have to make weight. Like this is
It's
this is
bullshit.
real.
Are
life.
these real rules or are they
No,
just
it's
like
bullshit.
troll rules?
It's
Because
tro-
this is.
well, it's an exhibition. Mike Tyson. Neither one of these dudes need the money, so
No,
I don't
no.
see where it's at. I think Mike Tyson. The thought of Mike Tyson. He deserves the respect to not have to be in the ring with
No,
this chucklehead.
never.
I'm not taking away the fact that the kid can fight. Like the kid can fight, but it's bullshit.
It's impressive that he has dedicated himself to boxing, but go box boxers.
But it's a demo. It's a bullshit. It's bullshit.
Mike Tyson's almost 60, but still hits like he's 40.
I just,
boxing.
and I never wish harm on anybody, but I can't wait to see him drive his wheelchair with his stick in his tongue. Like I want that to be
And if that doesn't happen, it was a fake fight.
It was a fake
because
fight.
Mike Tyson hits about 20 times as hard.
Have you watched the training video?
Yeah, you can see the intensity difference, man.
I don't know that. I think the hype. And listen, the T-shirt, sign here, blah blah.
Yeah.
Like there is hype going on, and Mike Tyson's buying into it. But when Mike Tyson he's not smoking pot and he's not doing mushrooms. His changes. He changes.
He's there's something different.
Yeah, those are the things
reason
that
why
calm
he's
him
so
down.
successful, aside from his power, is his brain. He gets into this zone, right? Like when he trains, and that's what is unmatchable by these other professionals, right? Like he is a beast in his own with his dedication and his training ethic, and then throw in the strength on top of it, right? Like that's just the extra icing on the cake. But I mean, I feel bad for Jake Paul.
Well,
I think he's in for an ass whooping.
The litany of technical fighting. That I'm a fight.
Me too.
Yeah.
Me too. 90s and 2000s was the best time for heavyweight boxing.
It's trash now, right? So the magnitude of training and fighting, what Mike Tyson has forgotten, like
Jake Paul will never
the
know.
Jake Paul Mayweather thing was clear bullshit, right? It was clear. That's what it was.
Of course.
This isn't going to be that. This is not.
That was his
that.
brother Logan Paul with.
That's right. That's right. I'm sorry, but this. I think it lacks respect. Then it's on Netflix. Like everything about it, I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna watch it. And if it's anything other than a crime scene,
then I know it was fake.
It's fake.
Yeah. So at the end of the day, like
baseball bat, that dude says this punch is good.
Again, drooling, driving his little buggy around with his
dude,
legs.
I remember an interview back in the late 90s where they said to Mike Tyson, they go, do you take any kind of medications? And he goes, Zoloft. And they go, oh, yeah? And he go, why do you take Zoloft? And he goes, to help me to keep from killing y'all. Mm-hmm. And I was like, that is what you're dealing with.
I saw that he cries before his fights because he feels bad for
he goes,
the people he's about to slaughter.
I don't want to know that I'm going to end up hurting this person so bad that sometimes they can't even stand the next day. Oh, there was some audio. What was that from?
I don't know what he had.
I don't know,
there.
but
that's
all good.
Neil.
All good.
Yeah, I just hope that he's not playing a role for this fight.
That's what I hope too. If it's just like if he's just doofing around because he's new Mike Tyson, that he's easy come, easy go now.
But he's not. No weed. No, he's trained. You saw the video. He's training. Yeah.
If he's not doing weed and mushrooms, he's gonna kill him. I'm nervous for Jake Paul.
I'm not nervous. I'm hopeful.
Right, because there's got to be some response for signing on the dotted line against one of the most dangerous people on earth.
It popped up on my phone. I was laying in bed and popped up, and I threw my phone.
Yeah,
my wife said,
like,
"What?" I was like, "I just saw the dumbest shit I ever." It was dumb. It was dumb.
And you're pissed off that it's on Knee High Wrestling Night, right?
Yeah, because I'm gonna watch some people that I'm friends with now.
And then go and then we're all gonna watch party.
We're gonna put my shoulders on their little heads, and I'm gonna sit back and I'm gonna watch it all happen. And it's gonna be I don't know.
So Rob Evans says that he's going to be getting a tattoo at the tattoo festival.
Nice.
He also said that he heard no helmets in that fight, and he also said that they're apparently going to be wearing
They're going to wear huge gloves.
Yeah, I knew. The big pads. I knew were
like 20 ounces or something.
They're going to come in with those giant ones that you get your kids, and you're just bonking around.
And they're going to look in the camera and go, thanks for your money, everybody. This was fun.
And neither of these dudes need your money.
No, of course
not. Who promotes that fight? Is Don King still promoter?
Right.
There's no. It's
Netflix.
Jake Paul's promotion company, but it's on Netflix. It's the first fight that'll ever be on Netflix. Netflix is going to get some new signups out of the deal. That's basically
and
what
Blockbuster laughed them out of the room.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I love it.
It's Squid Games. That's what it is. It's Squid Games. It's the next season of Squid Games.
I love when businesses can't see the future and they're so blind to it that when you look back in 20 years, you're like, wow, that was the fork in the road. And you literally had it on your plate and you said, nah.
Yeah.
That's like the people that were offered.
Pass.
That was like the people that were offered Amazon stock at like $5 and $10. Like, what is this Amazon? What's it going to be?
Yep.
You literally could live like a king right now if you had
internet.
What is this interwebs?
Yeah, what's the interwebs?
Yep.
All right,
like
so
Jay
one
said.
final time, guys. We're here with Jon Henderson. You lasted the whole show, which is awesome.
Look
man.
at me
dude,
go.
thanks,
Look at
man.
me go. I feel
Well,
like-
you got great stories. Things were going good.
No, you
know.
guys let it roll. You know, not your first rodeo. I appreciate, like I said, I appreciate being a part of the journey. Thank you.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure having you here. So if you guys have not gotten your tickets already, AC Beer and Music Fest, you're going to want to do it before the 1st to save yourself some cash.
Save some cash.
If you're thinking about doing it, just some of the great breweries that are going to be there. Our friends at Icarus Brewing Company will be down there. Ship Bottom Brewery, who I've done a collaboration when I was with Ross Brewing, they are going to be there. Lawson's Finest Liquids, my buddy does all the sales for the East Coast for Lawson's. Just some of the great, A Broken Goblet, which is a Pennsylvania brewery, but I'm friends with those
Mike and
guys.
those guys.
So good. There's so many really, really tasty things. Wild Air is going to be there. They're a new brewery over in Asbury Park.
Yeah, right where Dark City used to be.
Yeah, exactly. Just doing really good stuff. So thank you for all you do for craft beer. I appreciate it because I'm in with the community. I've worked in craft beer for a long time, but I love all the people that in all the different businesses that you have come here. I think it's so supportive of small business, and I love it.
Hey, man, appreciate you lifting me up. Thank you, my dude.
Thank you.
James, it's awesome meeting you and
John,
hanging out.
Same pleasure, man.
Yeah, us mustache Americans.
This is
Got to stick
just
together.
the beginning, bro.
That's it.
We're
That's
building
it.
bunk beds.
That's it. We just became best friends.
Nice. Fencing next door.
Dude, first blood.
Let's
First
go.
blood.
All right, guys. So you're watching Essential Guy Talk. Once again, I am between two bearded men. It was a pleasure. I am bearded as well, but they've got the sexy little mustaches. Thank you so much, and we'll see you guys again next week.
Have a good weekend, everybody.
Cheers.